3/17/22 was in the studio actively creating, 12 songs that are, or however many are on his phone. My question is, if the state knows or has an opinion about the date of the lyrics at all, because I'm just getting that from the readout from the.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little silly goosey. No lie, this working.
I don't know if I can finish anymore. I'm totally feeling it.
Me too.
But just from my very limited knowledge of what it takes to create a song, 12 songs wouldn't have been created in one studio.
I would imagine,
Right.
does that just mean that's the date and time in which he uploaded them to his phone?
Yes, Your Honor, it appears, and Mr. Atkins is looking it up and pulling it up. Some of the songs we agree were made pre-2022, somewhere in 2021. That's when some of the songs were created.
Okay, do you know whether the created date, what it means? Does it even mean this is the date it was uploaded to the phone, or?
That's what we're trying to get clarity of. We
Okay.
do believe, just because we know the date that some of these songs were posted either on another phone, that we know that he did not make the songs on
Right.
3/17/2022.
So does that date, does it matter at all for anybody? I mean, do we even need to show that date?
I don't know as far as, well, I think it does matter if the state is going to be arguing that references are made to an event and that event hadn't happened yet. Of course, that would make the creation date important. And I'm not saying.
So anything that happened after that date, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying if there's references to, if the state's saying there's a reference to something and it turns out that the song was made before the actual incident.
Well, Your Honor, let's be clear, there's 2 murder cases in this.
Well, there are 3.
Well, 3, but 2 involving Mr. Stillwell.
Yes.
So the date itself, we don't necessarily need the March 17th. We do need to know it was on his phone. It was on his phone when we captured his phone, which was on March 17th.
Okay.
Well,
Neither of the murders that are in the indictment that Mr. Stillwell is charged with happened after 3/17/22,
No.
did they?
Right, but what I'm saying is if the state has information from the data extraction, all I'm seeing is 3/17. If they have information further information that indicates a date of creation beyond that, I would like to know that, because I think that's relevant. If they don't, then they
And
don't.
you're meaning date of creation is when the song was recorded in any manner,
Right.
not when it was put on his phone.
Correct.
And we'll provide, like I said, there
Okay.
are a few that we
All right.
know were.
But is it fair to
Decision
say that we
2021.
think that created on that date from this phone dump means the date it was uploaded or added to his phone as an audio file?
I don't want to say that for sure.
We
but
don't even know.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so moving to the lyrics, and y'all are saying that on Red Light, there's someone else who is also singing whose words you think are relevant. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. B Slime, who we believe is a YSL
Okay.
co-conspirator, says the chorus in Red Light. And that chorus comes right before Mr. Stillwell's verse.
Okay.
The chorus, I believe, approximately at 144.
All right. So the chorus and then a verse by Mr. Stillwell. And that's it in terms of anybody other than Mr. Stillwell singing or rapping on any of these 4 songs?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do y'all have the sheet of the lyrics or, an approximation of the lyrics? Okay. And so the objection on the B Slime chorus that comes before Mr. Stillwell's verse is what?
It's not his words.
Yes.
And there's references to Red Light, which is, could be viewed as, let's just say the Schmo drinks homicide occurred at the red light. So, and that's really why I'm interested in this song in particular about the information that the state has. Of course, I have access to my client, but if my client chooses not to testify, then that information would come out through him. So what I'm wondering is, do the forensic examiners that look at the audio file have any opinion about the creation of that audio file?
I'm not following you now.
Okay, so my understanding of how this works, you're at the music studio.
Mhm.
There's an engineer working there with
Right.
you. You're creating music. At the end of the session, you are sent the audio file by the engineer.
Okay.
Okay, and that's how it would end up in your phone or something,
Okay.
or your computer, whatever device you have.
Okay.
But we just have a 3/17 date.
Mhm.
Of course, I'm not providing live testimony of this fact, but I know that song wasn't created on 3/17. And if
Well,
we,
it has to have been created sometime before,
right, and
either before or on 3/17. And you would like to know, was it created in like January of 2022?
well, if the state's going to argue that the words red light are a reference to the Shamal Drinks case, then by definition, it would have to have been created after the Shamal Drinks homicide.
Mhm.
And I don't believe that to be true. And I'm just wondering if the state has any proof that it was created
Or
before.
if they're even going to argue that. I
Right.
don't know. Are y'all arguing that red light refers to the drinks death?
No, our argument is going to be that with the nature of this criminal enterprise, that they don't mind killing their ops at red lights, generally speaking. I mean, so the fact that Mr. Drinks was murdered at a red light is consistent with the nature of the enterprise, Your Honor, that how significant is it that there's a song in which they talk about shooting their ops at red lights?
All right, well, then I would say that pretty much is an argument, even if you just say 2 + 2 instead of 2 + 2 = 4, you're saying this is a reference to the drinks killing. So, which you're certainly entitled to do.
Right, I mean, we can't say specifically, we don't know, we don't think, and we're confirming the time that he went to the studio immediately after and wrote this song. I don't think that occurred.
Uh-huh.
But there is an inference that this idea of killing your ops at the red light is relevant, given that Mr. Drinks was killed at a red light.
Well, and that's where kind of the 404A and propensity and everything else comes in, because your Honor wasn't here at this. Maybe you were. When I think you may have been. Kenneth Copeland was on the stand.
Oh, yeah, I was
And-
there for some of them.
You remember? And I asked him, and red lights are kind of a recurring theme. And I asked him about masks and tint and red lights, and he said, "Oh no, that's a must. Tint is a must. I don't stop at red
Right,
lights.
I
That's a
remember
must."
that.
So
Mhm.
these are generic themes throughout this type of music, and that's.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of trap and drill, and there's just a lot of references to ops. These are common themes in this type of music.
Mhm.
And so if the state can't show that it was created after the Drinks murder, which I don't believe they can show that,
Mhm.
then it's just kind of a general statement about red lights and the circumstances in which we live. And to me, we're going into propensity and 404A.
Well, I
at that
don't even
point.
know what the words say, so I
Okay.
can't really say whether it's propensity evidence or not.
And the red light portion, I'll just reiterate, is not Shannon's words either. It's B. Slime doing the chorus.
So at some point, am I going to get the words, or should I just open up the songs and listen to them?
But I think it's somewhere in between their computers. You sure you said it was right?
And with regard to the rest of it, is the objection, well, and I know Mr. Kendrick has objection too on, I believe you said in the email, it said 503, but I assume you meant 403.
I was typing quickly, Your Honor. I apologize.
That's fine.
I was really typing on behalf of Mr. Sharp there.
Okay.
I may have some.
Okay, so 403 and 404A, so same objections then, okay. Which I can't rule on until I know what the words are. And here they are.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll start with the first song, BS. Well, the highlighted portion, Tay went and clocked them Stepper's twin.
I think it's something that, yeah, I may have done, I don't know. I didn't highlight that. There's no significance to that. That's just-
Okay, so just look at the whole entirety of it. Is Dolly on singing on this or rapping on this or something?
She raps on a verse.
Am I supposed to ignore that verse?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to overrule the objections on the BS song. Moving on to Lizard Walk. And if there's something in particular you want to point out that you think is an actual 404A violation,
Do you,
let me know.
this is,
But when you choose to sing about it,
no. I understand that way of looking at it, Your Honor. Can I go back just to fully articulate on the,
yes.
and I understand you made a ruling, okay? So on the Bowl SHIT featuring
Mhm.
SB and Dollar, leave your HOE lonely, go catch a homicide, show me if you're down to ride. Want to know if you slime or not. I'm back on the BS, riding around with a full clip, FN with the blue tip. I ain't no mediator, I'm the worst to face you. It's time to ride out, ain't no hiding out, FN destroying walls. I seen an op fall, FN divide y'all. Shell, that was my call, okay.
Mhm.
So, my argument is that, for instance, these two homicides that my client is charged with, there's no indication that any of those lyrics reference specific evidence or specific facts regarding those homicides. Certainly they're homicides, and he's saying in the song, "Go catch a homicide. Show me if you're down to ride."
Mm-hmm.
And my argument is, do I love the words in this song? Do I think other people should? Not really, but that's not really the point. The point is, in my mind, does this song and the lyrics make specific reference to crimes that are charged beyond the general, oh, commit crimes, I commit crimes, I'm tough, I'm bad, I'm not scared, I carry a gun, I ride. And the way I view the lyrics in this song, again, if Mr. Still asked me, is that a good idea? No. But does it make specific reference to known facts to say that would allow us to say, oh, he's talking about the murder of Donovan Thomas or the murder of Shamal Drinks versus just generally talking about violence. I'm a tough guy. That's my persona in the music. I do this type of music, and I'm going to rap about homicide and killing and guns and crime. My stance is that the lyrics of this song, now Shell was my call. That was my call. I can acknowledge that the state would likely argue that, oh, there's someone on the other side that goes by Shell. Okay, that's a specific reference.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's nothing in this indictment that has anything to do with Shell Kell being shot, killed, or anything else. So that really, I guess it shows a dislike for Shell Kell, apparently, which I think at this point, that would be cumulative because I think it's pretty clear. There is a dislike. But I don't think there's enough in this to say that it's a specific reference to the crimes that are charged as opposed to just general bad acts. And that's why I'm labeling it as 404A.
All right, well, there aren't actual acts necessarily in here.
What do you mean? Your Honor, I'm sorry.
These are lyrics.
Right, but the lyrics that would reference the any specific crimes that he's charged with as opposed to generalized criminality, generalized violence. And that's my concern. The way I understand the analysis is, yes, if there's specific references, that's one thing. But just because you're a rapper that raps about guns and drugs doesn't mean if you're charged with a crime or violence, drugs, guns, and violence, doesn't mean if you're charged with a crime, we just bring in all your lyrics about drugs, guns, and violence. So my argument, I hope I'm articulating well, is that these lyrics are just generalized, boastful, bravado, criminality sells.
Yeah, it's a style of rap music, including some of the topics that are commonly found in rap music. It's not evidence of bad character such that it should be kept out because it's being offered for propensity reasons.
Okay. Well, I would also argue that under 403, there's confusion of the issues as well. Because again, we're just talking about, unless there's a specific nexus to a crime, we're just talking about generalized crime, and that could confuse the issues for the jury as well.
Okay, I understand your argument. Overruled. So Lizard Walk, anything specific in this that you want to point out to me that you believe to be either 404A or 403 specifically, having, and I'll assume that you want to adopt the general arguments for each of the 4 songs.
Right, well, I mean, the song is just full of bad character evidence. Dodging all your shots, send them all to my ops, let that bitch rain out the drop top. And then
Dodging your shots is not bad character evidence. Saying, man, I'd rather that go to the ops is not bad character evidence. I don't know what rain on the top of the drop means, but. Okay.
So this is my concern, Your Honor, is that jury hears these lyrics.
Get any, okay. I don't know that we're gonna need 4 of these songs. So I may need to turn to the state and ask why there's anything significant in one of these songs that's not covered in another that y'all want to show or feel is relevant.
Yes, Your Honor. So when you look at Lizard Walk and even the verse we just said, let that bitch rain out the top of the drop, Your Honor, the state's belief that when Donovan Thomas was murdered, that there was an individual shooting out of the rooftop of that vehicle as they drove down McDaniel Street. And so as a party opponent admission, which this is for an individual who was alleged to have committed that crime, to rap about letting it rain out of the top of the drop, we believe is relevant information, Your Honor.
All right.
Additionally, Your Honor, at some point towards the end of the song, he says, YSL through the roof. It is a light show when I bring little tick out. It is a light show when I bring them sticks out. It's a light show when I bring them blues out. It's a light show when I bring Moontunk out. And we believe that there has been evidence presented that at one point, Moontunk was an alleged shooter of YSL. And then it kind of graduated to other members, one of those being Mr. Stillwell. So those things we believe would be relevant with the specific song, Lizard Walk.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Short, do you want to be heard on?
I think the references to the extent that the state's arguing for admission by references to Moontunk and Tick, I think that those relationships have been well established without the need for this song.
All right, well, it sounds to me like it goes beyond just that. So I'm going to overrule, let that in over objection. So moving on to red light.
I don't like that she letting all that stuff in, because if you can't prove that that stuff is directly related to what happened, it shouldn't be relevant.
Any specific argument on this one?
Oh, you're asking me? Well, the red light part is not uttered by Mr. Stillwell. That would be B. Slime. I will also point out that from my my recollection, understanding, and notes, at the bottom where it says SB, indicating my client's verse, says where, and I don't know if this is correct, it says Hilton House on God. And then at that point, it goes into a chorus that's sung by someone else as well.
The I Be With Killers.
Yes. So my client's words are basically beginning on when I come through
Mhm.
and then ending on God. Oh, Heavenly House. Okay. Heavenly. So,
All right, so does the state want the last chorus, I guess? I Be With Killers, I don't know if that's chorus or a verse, but,
You're right, that's just repeating the same chorus that comes at 144, so we don't need.
all right, so y'all don't need that part anyway.
but it sounds like the state is still intending to introduce
The first part.
the chorus or B Slime's chorus where red light is repeated and repeated and repeated.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, he's,
We looked at this as adopted admission too.
I don't know if it's an adoptive admission or not, but he's singing on the song with, who is, and this person singing that other verse is what? Who?
B Slime that we believe is a YSL conspirator as well, Your Honor.
And it may be the chorus, may be that other person, Vito. It's not Mr. Stillwell, though.
Hang on. Let's see. All right, so there's obviously the chorus starts I Be With Killers and ends with the red light, red light, red light, right? And so that opens the song, and then there's the I Can Make It Rain on a Birthday all the way through. If I had a problem in the streets, I'd never run.
Right, so we don't want that. That's not.
Okay, so,
We're asking, is they repeat the chorus again.
okay.
And
So
then-
what y'all want is what is essentially the second time the chorus is sung, and then Mr. Stillwell's verse that he sings. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me. I'm going to rule that what Mr. Stillwell sings can come in, or raps can come in.
Okay, and I understand the court's ruling, just for the record, I would just like to object under 404A and 403. There's talk about, I see an op, I'm taking them down, gun them down, walk them down from a mile, walk them down. The last homicide, I smiled. I don't believe that those are specific references that include specific facts that could be linked and provide that nexus to either the charged homicides for Mr. Stillwell. Obviously, you can tell from me arguing it in my prior statements, I would very much prefer that these not be in evidence because in my mind, they are very bad character evidence. And so I object under 404A and 403.
All right, I don't find them to fall under 404A at all, and I'm overruling both objections.
And the last song that the state identified, Your Honor, we did not have an opportunity to do the AI.
Okay, all right,
So that one we might have to listen to.
okay, that's fine. I may or may not be able to discern what.
This game became a sensation, all because this team dared to ask the questions that matter.
And it's just the Mr. Stillwell part, not the Looney Lee part.
Yes, Your Honor, it'll start at approximately 1:45 to the song.
All right, if y'all will just play that for me.
Bankroll like boo, let's go. Walk up in the chopper, bin, I'm putting you down. If you really living like they gonna take them down. I'm really living like they 101 made it out. I just been a I walked it out. I walked them down. Anybody get a piece, show me. I just let that ball on the curb, call me Picasso. Artwork, chalk work, block work. Can't tell you the feeling consequences, cause they did not work. I'm a big lizard, big slime. About my name is Big Shot. Bitch die, big shots. Riding down your block, hanging at the top. They know I go bonkers, they just want some pop. I'ma give you clout, put you on that box. Late break up, that's your new, that's the new.
So that's on private flights. Pay the day you got night. Am I even living right? Fuck it, let me live my life. Fuck it, let me build my pipe. Fade left and bust it right. I ran this money up high, and that ain't feeling right. I ran this money up.
While maybe artistically clever, I'm Picasso, chalk work, op work. Those references, without specific links, really make, through his music, through his words in this music, create the impression, and I'm afraid will create the impression to the jury, that Mr. Stillwell is a killer without, and that impression will be made through fictional art as opposed to the evidence in this case. So again, without a direct nexus, we are going to object under 404A and 403.
All right, so is there anything in this song that is significant or distinctive from whatever's in the other couple of songs?
Yes, I just left that boy on the curb, call me Picasso. Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr. was shot dead on his side and fell onto the curb when he was murdered. I believe that is distinctive from the other songs that he presented, Your Honor. He also walked up with his chopper. We do believe that one of the murder weapons used to kill Donovan Thomas was a 7.62 by 2.8 rifle.
And that's
Well, by y'all's theory, nobody walked up on anybody for that one.
That's what they drove by.
Yeah.
After they drove by, but the fact is, he's talking about a chopper weapon, but you're right. it is drove
Okay,
by.
and is there evidence that he fell onto the curb after being?
Yes, he fell to the ground. That's when I think
Well, everybody, I would assume after they're dead collapses. Anything about a curb is what I'm asking about.
he was outside between, when you look at the surveillance video,
Mhm.
his vehicle and that other vehicle, which was close to a curb. Is what we-
So it's a stretch.
What?
Maybe sidewalk didn't fit into the lyric very well, so curb.
What, he didn't fall on the sidewalk either, did he?
He did, he was outside.
Well, that's what I just asked you.
He was outside.
I knew he was outside.
He fell into a parking lot.
Yeah, parking lot. Was it the curb of the parking lot or just the parking lot?
The curb in the parking lot meet.
I know. And was his body in the parking lot or on the curb?
Was on the curb.
He was in the parking lot, he was on the curb.
Okay, that's what I asked, is did he fall onto the curb? And y'all are now saying yes?
Yes. I would disagree with that.
All right, can somebody pull up the video and let's look?
Period. Let's look at it.
And because I don't think it's a camera view, Robert.
Okay, so we don't actually have the
He
evidence.
runs, so
Do we have the crime scene photos?
Yes.
It's I think the state will probably agree with me. If you look at the video, there's a car that goes by. No one
Mhm.
walks up. There's a car that drives by. Mr. Thomas is shot. He reacts and kind of turns and then
Kinda-
goes off camera view. And there's a car in the parking lot. And my understanding is he collapses. He was standing near a sidewalk when he was
Kind
hit
of
with
up
bullets.
against an SUV, right?
And then he collapses in the parking lot, I believe behind the SUV that is in the surveillance video.
He's not in the parking lot, so
Don't we have crime scene photos?
we do, his car was to the edge, he was standing closest to the barber shop in front of his vehicle, so when the shooting starts, he runs in the direction of Texaco. So he's not running in the parking lot, he runs in the direction of Texaco and falls, we believe, in front of the barber shop. I think the testimony was from either Mr. Hendricks or Mr. Sammy Davis, that they walked up and found him like his body right in front of the barber shop, closest to in front of the barber shop, but not like in front of the door of the barber shop. So that's what I think it's.
Further away from the curb.
The barber shop, right, so we're gonna put a picture where the medical intervention support.
Of course, the more it doesn't match the facts,
So
the
here,
better it is for your client, Mr. Shard.
so that's where his hand is, Your Honor, so his falls, we believe that's closer to the curb. That was the black cat that was collected.
Okay, yeah. That could be argued to be a curb. It's not the curb by the street, it's the curb by the barber shop. All right, I'm gonna permit that.
That's crazy, Paige.
So does that take us to the end of the song evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What is next on our list?
That was crazy, y'all.
Your Honor,
Mm-hmm.
given your decision to admit those lyrics, I'm going to have to ask for a severance. I have no opportunity to cross-examine Mr. Stillwell. They're highly prejudicial statements that could possibly be used against my client. If you're going to deny the severance, I would
I'll
ask,
give you a limiting instruction.
I would ask for a limiting
Would you like to
instruction.
craft it, please?
I will work on that, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, but I'm not withdrawing that
All
request
right,
for
well,
severance.
that's denied.
Okay, I will draft
It's
a,
a RICO and gang conspiracy case. So I'll
As I've heard
await-
Mr. Floyd
I will
explain.
eagerly await your proposed limiting instruction.
thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
I don't like the way she talking to Doug. She need to pull it together.
All right, so we've done the phone extraction, we've done the music. Wiretap wise, where do we need to go?
Your Honor,
That's all good.
yes, I think
All
that's been litigated and reduce the number.
You gave them the reduced
Yeah.
wiretap list? Okay. And how about, I think y'all told me that if you do call someone, there's no evidence with someone that needs to be litigated beforehand? Is that correct?
I believe so. My objections on someone are just very basic and the three attorneys that I see here, I don't imagine that they're gonna violate
Mhm.
anything.
Any idea who might be handling witness someone? All righty. Okay, so y'all are gonna get me jury charges by Monday, and I know you can add to them. I'm not saying this is all you can do. I just want to get started on them.
Would that be 6 PM Monday, Your Honor?
I mean, I'm not gonna be looking at them during the day on Monday. Oh, wait, we don't have court on Monday.
No.
I mean,
I'm just looking for what time the court expects to see them. We'll provide them whenever you
that's
say.
fine. That's fine. 6 PM Monday is fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so is there anything else we need to litigate before next week's trial picks back
I
up?
am the bearer of bad news, Your Honor. So there are 3 folders in Mr. Atkins' shared, I think it was on August 30th, a Dropbox link, and there are 3 folders for Investigator Viverito. I know that I have very specific objections to certain things that are in that photo. In that folder.
All right, maybe we
60,
should find
90.
Hey, let me find that folder.
And Your Honor, that folder was titled Remaining Witnesses to 103, and then had
Okay.
number 1 in parentheses.
All right.
Yeah. What y'all think? Kim, because I feel like
That folder, so within that folder, where am I looking?
So Investigator Viverito has 3 separate folders.
Okay,
So the first one is number 60,
okay.
and
Oh, yeah, oh, there are 2 number 60s, but I got the one that's Viverito.
so, Your Honor, I'll just, of course, there. 113 is a picture of Mr. Kendrick standing on a car, which I believe is already in this. And then there's an article about Mr. Kendrick standing on Lucci's car.
Okay, sorry, within the Viverito 60 folder, what am I looking for?
So on 113, in 113.
Okay, Yak on Lucci vehicle.
Right, and I think
Got it.
113 is referenced to the overact.
Yeah, okay, and that is already in.
That's already in, and then there's the front page of the article.
Oh, the one that says 8/15/2020?
Yes, John.
So how's that coming in? Are y'all seeking to admit that?
No, Your Honor, we're not seeking to admit this picture itself. We believe that as an expert, when she was going through social media in her investigation or going through social media, she understood that there was a response, not that this particular image needs to come in to evidence, Your Honor. So no,
All right,
we don't
so
intend.
they will not be offering that. All right, what's the next one?
Okay, 133, I'm just doing this on behalf of,
That's fine.
Kendrick over here. That's a social media.
So go to the one that says Act 133, Kendrick.
That's a social media post involving Kendrick. It It's not my fight, but I just.
Okay, are y'all intend to tender that?
Yes, Your Honor, whatever, yes.
Okay, and what would the objection be?
This is on 133.
Yes.
The post says Young Thug fans, but more importantly, it's the picture itself with Mr. Kendrick wearing a YSL chain standing next to,
And a YSL chain and what?
wearing a YSL chain and with Mr. Williams, Your Honor.
And what's the,
It's
why is that? Hasn't it been shown over and over again that he's
I don't
signed to YSL and knows Jeffrey Williams? It seems cumulative of, I don't know how much other evidence.
Yeah, it's one of our overt acts in the indictment, Your Honor, and so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let y'all present
What-
that.
What about, okay.
You
That- is it-
realize, however, that establishing an overt act doesn't get you what you need, right? It has to be in furtherance of a criminal conspiracy.
Yes.
Okay.
Please
And,
explain.
Your Honor, at some point, I don't want to get this off track, at some point, we would, when at the close of evidence, we would like the opportunity to argue for directed verdicts, not only on specific counts, but also on the overt acts.
Okay, well, I'll certainly entertain your argument at the appropriate time and hope that the state will be prepared with whatever its response is going to be. Okay, so we don't need the commentary on the side, and I have no idea exactly what that says because it's so blurry underneath, but is that language significant or just the picture?
I would ask that the language be stated.
Yeah, I like the
I don't
language.
even know what the
The
language says,
The
but,
language basically talks about the ability to spit out a verse
okay.
fast.
Who's the fastest route?
Okay. So how about the language on the side? I think those have been being redacted unless there was some significance to them.
If we could keep the original, just the poster's message, because I think it's relevant who posted
The
it.
Young Thug fans,
Right, because,
okay, but not the commentary below.
yes.
That's how we've, I think, typically been doing it. Everybody good on that?
Just to clarify, not the commentary to the side.
Right.
We're going
I'm
to keep the
sorry.
text in the
Commentary
image.
below the post, but yeah. Yes, the red words,
The red
are
text
staying.
remains. Thank you.
yes, there seem to be a part of the post itself. Okay, what's next?
And Your Honor, I don't know if Young Thug fans posted, I think that might be a comment on the page. I think the poster is cut off. You can see Atlanta, Georgia, but you can't see the actual poster, Your Honor.
So you're now you're trying to put in an image where we don't even know the province of it.
Right, but the image is what's
Well, that
relevant.
doesn't matter. I
I
mean,
mean-
that's not required.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I think it does matter a little bit. And because the jury's going to have to determine if these pictures are in furtherance or, furthering a RICO. And if Diamante Kendrick posted that and or Jeffrey Williams posted that, the state would be arguing, well, it's putting their brand out there.
What
and-
overt act is this?
133, Your Honor.
Let's see what they say it is. It's that he posed for the photo.
Heaven forbid, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Whether he posed for it or not, there he is, standing there next to Mr. Williams. And someone captures it on film. So yes or no on the Young Thug fans?
I think we should keep it in.
It looks like that is not it doesn't matter to me one way or another. What's the state's intent?
Your Honor, I believe it's hearsay. Tag someone who can compete Thugger and make it faster versus not relevant.
That is not, it can't even possibly be hearsay. It's not a factual assertion.
So I think we leave it in, if we leave all of the comments in, or we delete all of the comments, one of the
So
other. You can't not delete the top one and then, but delete the rest. You can't have
doesn't matter.
all or nothing.
I'm just asking, what's the state proposing?
We'll propose that we'll keep it all, or we'll take it all.
All right,
For this image, we are fine.
Keep it all.
all righty, we're gonna, so that is gonna be exactly what it looks like when it gets thrown up on screen. What's next?
The next is 142, and that's another picture of Mr. Kendrick, and it looks like it's posted by maybe a clothing designer or something that Mr. Kendrick was wearing. And he was wearing orange shades of orange in front of an orange graffiti slab.
And is there an objection?
Relevance, Your Honor.
Okay,
I mean,
what's the relevance?
it's, oh, yeah, it is an overt act.
What's the relevance?
Your Honor, he's standing next to one of the terminology.
Okay, is there some other evidence that he has used the word slat before?
Not,
Your Honor, it's,
A term apparently in fairly common parlance.
Your Honor, it's overt act 142. And so what the,
That he posed next to the word slat, is that what it says?
correct, wearing a, red bandana, t-shirt,
Well,
slat.
Might be red, might be orange, I don't know. Maybe it was a bad
I think it is.
filter on the,
I believe it is a bad filter, Your Honor. I think it's red, but the state just believes that overt act 142, that photograph should be allowed to be admitted, or at least presented.
all righty. Yes,
And I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse, but with a lot of these, if we are admitting them solely because they are overacts, I get it. But if and I don't have a legal answer at this time, just something to ponder as we move forward. If directed verdicts are granted on some of these things that are let in as just because they're overacts, I'm wondering what happens to the evidence afterwards.
so something like this, I mean, let's assume it comes in and let's assume that y'all make a directed verdict motion and say this overt act should not come in because, what would your argument be? Because it's not in furtherance of the conspiracy?
There's been no evidence that this picture, which is posted by a clothing company to sell their clothes, and it looks like.
Well, right, it's not who posted it here, it's
Right.
the fact that he stood next to the word slat dressed in red
Or orange. I would
Orange.
say.
or orange
Um,
in the eye of the beholder.
but so, and I'm not prepared, I'm not asking for anyone
No,
to
but I
make a
mean,
ruling, but
theoretically speaking,
there's no other than.
would your argument be it's not in furtherance of the conspiracy and therefore it should be stricken?
It would be if a directed verdict on that overact was granted, and the only reason we let this evidence in was because it was an overact, I would think that we would strike that evidence from the record.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so too, just like with any other, if I granted it on certain counts of some indictment,
Yeah.
then I would say to the jury, don't even consider those. Those aren't before you to consider. And so we wouldn't send out evidence that only went to stricken counts.
Yeah.
So theoretically speaking, that would be your answer. All right, what's next?
I have an objection to 158.
Okay. And what is your objection?
That my client is standing, I believe that, and I want to be very clear, that is not the gas station. That is not the Texaco at the corner of Northside Drive and McDaniel Street.
Okay.
So want to put that out there right away. My client is wearing a slime shirt. Says, I fell off a, let me directly quote. I fell off 100 times, 100 times I bounced back. Hashtag life size, Manitumba de Piedra. Mr. Stillwell has been victimized along with people that have been close to him many times since 2015. This is not a confession of any sort. This is not a statement against penal interest, but it does have the ability to confuse and mislead the jurors. So I'm going to argue relevance and 403.
Is this an overt act?
Yes, Your Honor. It is an overt act, and with
Which one is this?
this is number 158, Your Honor.
What is, I mean, I don't speak Spanish, so what do those Spanish words
It says
translate to?
Peanuts Tombstone, Your Honor. And what is also significant.
What tombstone?
Peanuts Tombstone.
Ah, de Piedra.
Yes. And what is also significant is one, this is taken at 221 Cleveland Avenue, which we believe is a YSL.
Are you going to be able to establish where it was taken?
We believe that investigative retail will be able to establish where this is taken. And furthermore,
He took a picture in an area where he hangs out.
and very quickly, he took this post down after posting it. So we'll be able to establish that he posted it, put that Manitumba de Piedra, and then immediately took it down. But that's, when you translate that Spanish term, it says Peanuts Tombstone.
Okay. You're going to have somebody translate it?
Yes, we have the translated version.
Well, he didn't post the translated version.
We have the C, when it says C translation and we click it, we have both versions.
Okay.
This version and the C translation version.
All right. And do you know when it's posted?
We do, Your Honor, it was posted on 1/27/2022, the date that's on the indictment, Your Honor. And we did serve it, Mr. Sharp, outlined exactly where it served, the translation
Not having been killed.
in 2015, in January of 2015.
Okay, well, I'm going to permit that over objection.
Can we discuss the translation? Though, Your Honor, although I don't love what's said in this post, I have sought and consulted with many Spanish speakers,
Okay.
and I have gotten, I'm not going to pretend that it's talking about something like a red Corvette or something. It's stone, tomb, peanut. There's an ambiguity in what these words mean.
One of those words is peanut, one of them is stone, and one of them is tomb?
No, I've had people say that makes no sense that speak Spanish.
Well, because they probably don't know that somebody walks around with the moniker nut peanut, but
Well, no, I've discussed with him about that. Now, I'm just wondering if the state is planning on just going with the translation that comes up when you.
what
simply
happens when
hit
you click it?
And that's what we're trying to find. That's the,
Well, we should probably know what it is before. And then are we accepting whatever Google clicks to translate
Well,
as
I don't know
an
what,
acceptable translation?
I guess I'm waiting to see what it says, but I guess the point I'm making is that I've spoken to many different people about that, and most of the people say that really doesn't make a lot of sense, if you were a Spanish speaker. But other people have said it means something to do about a pebble. Other people, and if you Google,
Okay.
if you Google Piedra, if you Google these words, you get alternate meanings of it.
All right.
One, sometimes peanut, sometimes pebble.
Okay, well, I guess that it was posted in Spanish, so that's what's going to get shown. And then if somebody wants to offer the translation that pulls up when you hit the C translation, we'll see what that says. And then if you want to offer evidence of another translation, you may do that. Okay?
Yes, we don't need to, well, Your Honor's in charge, of course, but I'm not intending to hold up the proceedings to wait on that translation right
At
now.
some point before we present it before the jury as a translation, let's find out what it's going to show up as. All right, what's next? I've lost my link. Okay, which one's next?
I don't, in my notes, I don't have any objections under Act 171. Now, there's a whole bunch of search warrants and things of that nature that I assume are not going to be admitted into evidence. But
Let's check.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, that assumption is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
so, am I correct that generally in 171, the take home is you guys are going to be admitting those phone calls? Is that essentially what it really comes down to?
Only one, yes. One of those calls.
You know which one?
This is the call that we'll be introducing is the call in which Mr. Eppinger calls Mr. Sumlin on February 22nd to seek permission from Mr. Williams in order to harm YFN, harm Rayshawn Bennett, try to harm him again since Mr. Myrick could not complete the task.
What am I looking at?
In page one, excuse me, in page 171.
Uh-huh.
There are three, like, audio looking
Yes.
It
files.
is,
Those are jail calls
Okay.
between Eppinger and Summer.
Okay. Hadn't we already done these?
yes.
I don't recall that, but myself and Ms. Hilton, I both have very different recollections of this, and I think we're both
Okay.
coming from an honest place. but
So we'll just listen, I guess. I don't know if we listened before. Some things had transcripts.
I don't believe that I'm gonna have any issues with the call. I wanna make sure that I know which one I know that.
Okay, so we're probably due for a restroom break shortly. So maybe whenever our restroom break is, you can listen to those three or review them.
I think they're only using one.
Oh, super. Listen to that one, see if there's anything objectionable. So that will come back to.
Act 180 didn't open for me. I believe it to be.
I know it is. It's the video from the jail. Where they're videoing the news story.
Oh, and that's already been admitted, correct?
No, it has not been admitted, but we litigated it a little while ago. This is, Your Honor, the video in which Mr. Rodalius Ryan is in jail and Christian Eppinger gets a bond and Christian Eppinger, Rodalius Ryan says F the DA, F Ms. Davenport, he puts up the YSL sign, and the court, we believe, allowed, yes.
Yeah, it's him on a phone showing himself watching
Yes,
that's
Your Honor.
admitted.
Is that an overt act?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, Your Honor, I do think probably the analysis, and I'm not going to belabor the court, but the analysis, I get it to Rico, but the analysis of the admissibility of things for Mr. Ryan cheering from prison about Mr. Eppinger, probably the factor balancing may have might be a little different now that Mr. Ryan is
Still
not
a
here.
co-conspirator,
Okay.
so it's not different.
All right, thank you.
What's next?
You're right. The Eppinger jail calls, we don't have to litigate again. And then the other thing is the Adams MMS content highlight. Your Honor, you can recall when we did litigate this previously, this was the Verizon text messages that had all the different colors, and we were supposed to narrow down what we're going to use. And Mr. Shard had launched the objection that in one of the text message, it said SB. The state said we would take that out. We did, and we provided an updated spreadsheet. So we
And
think
you have or you will?
we have.
Okay, and based on the updated spreadsheet, is there anything we still need to litigate?
This is just more, I'm wondering how logistically we're going to do this. I assume, I'm under the belief that the state is no longer seeking, if they were ever seeking to introduce the color-coded exhibit.
Yes, I mean, it'll be a demonstrative, Your Honor. This is the Verizon text messages that we litigated before. I believe Mr. Steele had objected to the Verizon text messages coming in. The court ruled it in. And these are text messages between Khalif Adams and Demikion Garlington attempting to set up the stabbing of Mr. Rayshawn Bennett. Because of all the different conversations, we do.
How do you know it's great internet? Because it's Sparklight. We know connection goes way beyond technology, that the best connections are always there, right when you need them. Cable America is now Sparklight, and we're always working for you.
I guess the raw conversations before they consolidate them. Am I correct that you guys are, I know you're introducing the whole conversations, but as far as publishing to the jury, it's just going to be the focused conversations involving the individuals that are involved in those conversations, Myrick, Adams, and Garland.
Yes, it'll be everything surrounding the planning, ultimate execution, and the aftermath of the stabbing of Mr. Bennett.
Okay, and my main concern with this, and the state, I believe, has addressed it, that there was a hearsay statement that had my client's name in it, and I've been told that's being redacted and taken out. So
That's my understanding also.
And I believe that is the end of my concerns about
Okay,
folder 6.
okay.
So the next one is folder 90.
Okay. Oops, there's more than 190. Yeah, now I know. I'm just waiting for it to download, but it doesn't seem to want to. Maybe I'll start over.
Yes.
All right, it won't open for me, so he's gonna need to maybe send it to me some other way. I'm trying to open it from what is in our saved files, Ms. Percifield, and it's not working that way.
I can resend it, Your Honor.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know why it just isn't doing anything. It's not your fault. All right, well, while I'm waiting for that one, what's the next one gonna be? The next folder, like when I get 90 a different way, I'll try to open it.
The remaining folder 94, Your Honor.
Which one?
94.
94. Officer Samba?
No, 94 investigator, it says investigator Marisa. It says 94 placeholder investigator Marisa.
All right, they might be saved differently for me. Y'all just send me the link and I'll try to open it.
All right, y'all. What's going on? A drop is to convert, please. Lacey Ann, you hear her clowning. And that computer don't work together, y'all. She stay having issues. The mic, anything that she touched, her ability to be tech savvy is non-existent. She did say Officer Stillwell. The jury is not going to be able to put this shit together. They're not going to be able to put it together.
90 Vivarito. There are a bunch of subfolders. What should I be looking at?
So, you said it was 94 or did you get 90? Okay, 90, great.
Yeah, I don't see a 94 at all. So y'all might want to go ahead and be sending.
Attention, we're looking for homeowners who need gutters and/or gutter guards this spring. Don't just replace your gutters when you could get gutters, downspouts, and top-rated gutter guards all in one, all at a surprisingly affordable price. Tap below to check pricing now.
We handle all types of personal injury matters. We do handle workers' compensation if someone is injured at work, whether it's their fault or the fault of someone else. It doesn't matter. Under the laws of Missouri, it doesn't matter who's at fault. If you're injured within the scope of your employment, you have a worker.
Are you planning on using anything for someone's wiretap?
Yes, we also included that on the pared down list we sent you yesterday.
All right. 115 is already in. 141, I don't have a problem with. 152, I have no objection to. My problems begin where it says drinks murder.
I'm sorry, but which subfolder am I supposed to be in?
It's count 49 through 54. Chanel drinks.
Thank you.
Commercial.
So which one now?
And so under drinks murder,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bunch of pictures.
Right.
And this is what I was talking about earlier. There are no, to my knowledge, Investigator Vivarito did not, through reports, lay out the work that she did. So we have a folder with a bunch of random screenshots of random people. And then what adds to the confusion is there's a date up top. When you look at the file, there's a date, but then if you look at the post itself, oftentimes there's another date. Most of the litigation that I feel we need to do today, from my perspective, is in this folders, probably about 30 different pictures.
Okay.
And I just think a lot of it is hearsay. A lot of it is people that are not testifying.
Okay.
And I think we need to figure out what we're doing with this, and to the extent the state knows when it was actually posted, when it was collected, and if they can provide some context to this. And I'm going on the assumption that Investigator Viverito pulled them. I don't know if that's.
That is accurate, Your Honor. And I think for efficiency purposes, this count 49 through 54 folder is also inclusive of the March 2022 folder. And I'm not sure if Mr. Shard has objections to the content in the March 2022 folder. And so it may be best to just go to that folder and go through the items in that folder if there are any objections in the March 2022 folder.
So everything in here is in March 22, but everything March 22 is not.
Correct.
Awesome. How do I get to the March 22?
It's in that same folder. It's the last folder. So if you come out.
Okay, yeah, March 2022.
Yes.
And we're going to need to litigate each of these things. Y'all intend to use all of these things?
There are some.
How many items is this approximately?
196 items.
Okay, you certainly do not need 196 more photographs in, do you? You don't?
No,
I cannot imagine that you would.
you're right. You're correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
And what we need to do, we're looking at it now, we realize some might be duplicates. So
I guess I should have made y'all come to court yesterday and do this.
Well, I would start with the one where you have a specific objection, and then we'll work from there. That would be a good one.
Well, I have specific objections to anything that is not posted by my client or can be considered or ruled upon by the court that it's an 801(c)(3) statement. I would have objections to anything else coming in to trial at this point. Obviously, there could be some exceptions, but when I'm looking at the first one, and it's just like, again, there's no context. I'm not trying to be difficult, but it's like inboxing me, asking paperwork on Jermaine Little, A.D. Higgins, picking me out of the lineup. I don't even know what this is. And then Shell Cal is having a conversation with a boy. I just don't know what this has to do with anything, you know? If it does, then I'm all ears, but.
So, Your Honor, just generally, the items in the March 22 folder are items between either YFN gang members or YSL members in the weeks beginning between March 3rd, 2022, up until about March 17th, 2022. So this entire folder is screenshots of Instagram conversations that were occurring in the midst of what was brewing to be the ongoing war, especially after Mr. Bennett had been stabbed in the jail. So Mr. Bennett's stabbing in the jail trickled this iteration of the war that we believe.
And remind me when the day of that jail stabbing.
So that was on February 9th, 2022. And then the media, there was a bond motion filed, and on March 3rd, 2022, an emergency bond motion for Mr. Bennett. And that was publicized around that same time. And so it was immediately following the publication.
Okay, and so is there any cross communication between the two groups? Or is this going to be YSL communications and whatever the other gang is communications?
The majority of the things in this folder are going to be posts that further the gang's violent reputation, its it's gonna be antagonizing the rival gang through these posts, as well as kind of, which were used to like flaunt and fuel the gang war that we kind of.
All right, well, it's an awful lot of them. So can y'all narrow it down to what you feel like would show what you're seeking to show?
Yes, Your Honor.
Without, okay.
And can I just use this first one to just illustrate my concerns, Your Honor? It's just like, it says image 0609. I can't see, I have no idea other than, I think I probably know Michelle coming up like this. I have no idea who is speaking. I have no
Maybe
idea.
that'll be when they don't end up one.
Right, but this is just my general concern, just about it being true. I don't know how this would be admitted to evidence. We don't know a date.
Yeah, I don't see a date.
So Your Honor, there are. a few-
I don't want to litigate things we're not gonna ultimately need to litigate. So y'all go and, because you haven't already figured out what you actually need instead of dumping all of it. Figure out what you actually need, provide that to the defense. And at some other point, which might be Monday, we'll litigate the admissibility of it. So that's this March folder. Is there anything other than March 2022 folder in this folder number 90 that we still need to reach?
No.
Okay.
That's
So-
in 94 is short.
Okay, so,
But I have questions on 94.
all right, so we need to come back to that. We need to come back to the folder 171 that had to do with Eppinger and someone. We need to come back to the I deleted Instagram portion from this morning. We are at this point going to move on to folder number 94 and see what it is within that.
Ms. Hilton, I have a question about folder 94.
Yes, sir.
The first folder is labeled, it's got some numbers, Diamante Kendrick, and it's a phone dump. But I don't know what portions, I mean, obviously there's an entire phone in there. What portions do y'all plan on using?
Your Honor, Mr.
You can call me that if you want to.
Mr. Honesty, I'm sorry. At this time, we don't intend to use your client's phone.
Okay, thank you.
If the change will apply, but at this time, we don't plan on.
I understand. Thank you. If it does change, can you notify me as soon as possible?
Yeah, because there only supposed to be a couple of more weeks at most left to y'all's evidence. So if you're telling him right now, we're not going to use it. You better change your mind really quickly if you then decide we are going to use it.
Yes. Monday at 6 p.m.
Fine.
Yeah, and if you do notify me, if you would just please provide me specifics of that portion which you do choose to use, that would be helpful. Thank you. Thank you.
Judge, can I share a text that we forgot to go over from the iPhone 13 to Mr. Stillwell? It was included in the large compiling that we sent with Mr. Jackson's former paramour. But this is where he is sending her a text the day that Lucci's staff is saying they just wet Lucci's up. And that was before it became public.
Okay.
So it just gets in further into the gang, how they're all included in the knowledge of them. We believe that's highly relevant to the charges and the acts in this indictment.
Are you going to make an objection?
It is my client's statement for the state's theory. Mr. Weinstein might have an objection on behalf of his client.
Sorry, which portion?
We can include the limiting instructions for that too.
Because I don't believe, well, I'll let Mr. Weinstein argue that it's not stated by a co-conspirator in furtherance, I believe my client is communicating with Ms. Alexander.
We'll make a motion on behalf of Mr. Weinstein.
No.
That should be included.
Yeah, we would need that for sure. I'm sorry, I was consulting with my client on something else at the moment.
It was my fault. I brought that out of nowhere. So.
Okay, so nobody has objection to this?
Well, but,
Okay.
I think.
but I would need a limiting instruction, Your Honor. Would you like me to draft that up?
Well, I don't know that I'm going to use your other limiting instruction, because I think it is a little too broad. But I don't understand what this is. So no, there's not, nobody's objecting. And Mr. Weinstein, you're saying you want a limiting instruction, but
I believe the issue is, Your Honor, the state is using this as a statement by party opponent, my client's statement, and I don't believe that Ms. Alexander could be labeled as a co-conspirator, and I don't believe that this would be in furtherance of a conspiracy. So I think the issue would be that it would be admissible against potentially my client for whatever the jury thinks it's worth.
so they just wet Lucci blah blah up is the phone number associated with Mr. Stillwell,
Yes, Your Honor.
saying that to his girlfriend at the time.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we would not come in under co-conspirator exception and therefore would only be admissible against Mr. Stillwell. Would you use the word valid?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so what would you want that to be essentially what you sent me before?
The one that was overly broad, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love for that to be
Um,
used as well.
Okay, you're going to hear about a statement made by, is that a statement?
I have no objections, just
A lyric?
specifically
This
saying.
particular piece of evidence is only admissible against Mr. Stillwell.
I don't know if I love that wording, but yes, could be considered, for whatever weight you deem appropriate against Mr. Stillwell, but
Why don't y'all work on one together to get there?
Yes, Your
We'll
Honor.
Come back to the other one. So we need, what is this, do you know what exhibit number this is gonna be?
What is the number? No, Your Honor, but we'll know by, Monday.
Okay, I just wanna,
It'll be a part of.
y'all make sure that somebody,
We'll
not
coordinate.
everybody remind me before it comes in, but I need to give whatever the limiting instruction is gonna be. All right, what's next?
so in 94, there is a folder labeled Ryan
Actually,
Stillwell.
can I stop you for just a second? Because I'm trying to figure out a court order for Tuesday. And
Could-
I have my mind on too many different things.
Could we maybe take a recess?
Let's take a break. And by the time y'all get back, I will have gotten that off my plate, hopefully.
And I will sit with these
Right.
fine people and see if we can talk through some of
Thanks,
these.
appreciate it. Okay.
All right, dropping the link out there for the people if you want to come up and talk about what we're seeing. You are more than welcome to come up and talk about it. I do agree. I think that Max is arguing to make sure that if he got any chance of getting something thrown out, that he gets it thrown out. I know Still glad he gone. You think so? I think Still wanted to beat her. I think still wanted the beater to put the red nose on the clown for sure. Yeah, Shannon is in trouble. Why do you think he's in trouble, Lacey? Why do you think Shannon's in trouble? I've never brought anybody up on YouTube before, so I wonder how it's gonna go. Let me see. Do it tell you when people backstage or something? Okay, it don't say nothing right now. Shannon was the leader or not? I asked that question before, and
There's some big loot in town right now. The Emirates NBA Cup and all the heavy hitters.
the people was mad at me when I said it because, for one, it seemed like when Shannon say go, and two, Shannon got them woes, and everybody looking up to Shannon, everybody hanging out with Shannon, everybody want to do what Shannon doing. So I asked the same question. I said, "Is Shannon the leader?" It should. I asked the same question. I said, "Is Shannon the leader?" Because, yeah, yeah, Shannon's name seems to come up a lot because Paige is allowing allowing all this thrown at the wall against him. Those lyrics sound bad to someone like me who don't listen to much rap. Don't get me wrong, I want them free. No, Lathian, that's a good point. But we know that it's coming in. But one thing that we got to remember is just that we know that it's coming in. Max is gonna put up his argument. And trust and believe, even though they're litigating it right now, and they're talking about maybe why they don't want it in. Max got a whole plan behind this. There's a method behind this madness. So best believe they've prepared an argument or a picture that they want to paint to the jury if it in fact does come in. Even if it hasn't been created right now, Max is skilled enough to go and create that after the fact. So I definitely get what you were saying, but once they start talking about, well, when were these lyrics created? When was the song recorded? When all of those things start coming into play, I think good and well the jury's they're gonna be able to introduce enough reasonable doubt to where maybe Shannon isn't 100% convicted for some of this stuff. Now I will say, who and why in the heck would you try to write something in Spanish like the thing don't got a translator? Why would you do that? Now that right there blew me. Because what? Why would you do that? Y'all didn't even listen to OG like he told y'all. Y'all was talking crazy on social media and y'all needed to stop. I think that's why Woody couldn't stand him. I don't know. Because the way them girls act about Woody, I don't think they just started acting like that. I think they've been acting like that about him. So Woody might have had them woes too. I want these men free so dang bad. But it's actually easier for me to read them when they come up here because the white behind it, I have my computer in dark mode and still can't see nothing. But I hope that they go the right path when they get released. Absolutely. I agree with that. Yes. None of them could because he was who he was. Taylor, he cute, but wasn't being very smart at all. Yeah, the Spanish hashtag, they got him bad on that one. Exactly. And it most definitely looked like you had something to do with that one. That one don't look good. Wasn't being smart at all. So I mean, when you combine it creates doubt. But here's the thing: when you talk about the unaliving of Donovan Thomas, because remember, this is all about. They say this is about the unaliving Donovan Thomas, right? Peanut and his grave having slat written across it, and all of that, right? What was Shannon? Why y'all ain't got Shannon phone records for the night of the unaliving of Donovan Thomas? Y'all got his phones. Why y'all didn't go subpoena his records? those are things that I think that the defense is going to bring up, because it don't matter that he's, you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing about these gangs, right? And we even talked about it. That's why I like YouTube, because I can say what I want to say and we're not going to get banned. So here's the thing, when we talk about it, right? These groups are taunting one another. You don't necessarily have to do something to get under somebody else's skin. Somebody else could do it. Somebody even sillier, stupider, dumber than you can go out there and go do some stuff. And all you got to do is bring it up and then somebody going to get mad. You got a DJ out here playing songs, showing a car riddled with bullets, saying F this, F that. And somebody sent it to them so that they would know, but in actuality, that was just a group of people who was taunting them. And so it just because he brings it up doesn't mean that he did it or he know who did it. It was a taunt. Shell Kel had been on their bumpers for so long, Lacey Ann, it wasn't even funny. Okay. So I get it. I know it looks bad, right now, because we are only seeing the evidence, but we don't have the arguments behind it yet. We don't have the picture that the state or that the defense is going to paint yet. We just got the evidence. So, I mean, this is their circumstantial evidence. This is their circumstantial evidence, right? This is what they're choosing to put forth. This is what they're choosing to put forth. But where's the video of Shannon during the unaliving? It's not a crime to rap about it. Okay, so wait a minute. Are you talking about Shamel Dreams or are you talking about Donovan Thomas? Because we got two of them that we're talking about. So I want to make sure I address that, but I address it, in the right context. It looked bad. I think it do look bad. But what it looked bad just looking at it. We don't have the argument that they're going to put with it. You know what I'm saying? We got to see how it look in front of the jury. Once the jury get there, we got to see how it looked then. And then we got to make a determination. We can't jump the gun. All right. So yes, Ebbs. Yes. When it comes to the unaliving of Donovan Thomas, where's the video of Shannon? Where was Shannon at? Where was Shannon's phone? Where's all that stuff that you're talking about? Because that goes back to my point. You can talk to somebody all day long about something somebody else did. You can do that all day long to upset somebody. That don't mean that you did it. That don't mean that you did it. That Spanish hashtag was ridiculous. The Spanish hashtag was ridiculous. Like, I don't even know why they thought that was cool, but it's a taunt. But like I said, just like somebody sent that video around of the DJ doing what he was doing, whoever did that to that man Tombstone, they sent that stuff around too. Yes, Paige is trying to let them know, like, you need to stop while you ahead. And the way she just ripped into them about having another photo with 100-something pictures in it, like, you finna use it, baby. No, you're not. She said, I can't imagine that you need that many. Why would you need that? What you need that for? I think that's the reach. That's the reach, Lacey. And at that point, somebody must have pulled a muscle, because that reach was ridiculous. That reach was crazy. Even Paige knew it was a reach. It was crazy. But she knew that the argument that they was making was one that they're allowed to make. But baby, their reach, they most definitely had to go take a muscle relaxer after that one, because free the jury. Look at my comment above. Okay, let me say what comment did you make above? What comment did you make? Sorry, y'all, I had to. My nose itch. Brittany, I don't see your other comment. Okay, I wish I was a fly on the wall when Max is talking to Shannon. I want to know what Yak over there saying, because you didn't have Doug attention way off of what was going on. Do they know sometimes police do stuff like this so gangs will get at each other, and that's a good argument to make. And that would be something if I was an attorney, and just being able to poke as many holes in the investigation and show the way that the police targeted the guys, I would most definitely bring something up like that in my closing argument. Brittany, rewrite your comment because I don't see it. Nope, Shannon phone was not included. I feel like Gaither kept a war going and was showing the other everything the opposite side was doing. That's a good inference too. That's a possibility. Free the jury. I said we need to go through the acts and stuff to see which ones are out of statute of limitations. All right, let's do it. Didn't Doug ask to be separate from Shannon? Yes, because they are introducing that lyric about the unaliving and Nut being on the curb and how it was mentioned in a song, and Doug was arguing that he doesn't get to cross Shannon, so he doesn't feel like it should be brought in. And she's gonna, as usual, give a limiting instruction, curative instruction, so that she doesn't have to sever him. Still was going to make that statute of limitations argument. Hopefully they still argue that. I wonder what the statute of limitations is on though. I don't recall it being actual dates on those overt acts. I don't recall dates on it, but the overt act situation is just crazy to me because they are not proving that it's in furtherance of the gang at all. They just saying it's an overt act. Look, I got the picture. It's the overt act, but they're not necessarily really telling how it is furthering the gang. Like, I took a picture with Thug with a YSL chain on. Well, duh, I'm a YSL artist. So why not have a picture with the chain on? I think that they thought that because they listed it as an overt act and they had a picture to support that what they said was an overt act was true, they felt like it was going to.
There it is.
eBay. Things people love.
Your movie.
Okay, there we go. I'm gonna mute that for now. Heck nah, I don't think Jeffrey watching it all because I don't think some of those acts they can be found guilty on if it's out of the limitation. Right, but what is the limitation? Where do we find the statute of limitation at? I don't think he watching it all. I think he want this shit for all this heat. I think other people watching and keeping him updated. The overt acts isn't a charge. It is the support of charge 1. Correct, but they still have to prove that it's in furtherance of a gang. And so I feel like them saying this is an overt act and I got the picture, they're saying that look at my picture, it's in furtherance of a gang. Like they're not actually proving it. That's what I was saying. For the photo ones. The photos, the phone calls, like it's a bunch of overt acts that's just ridiculous. The overt acts of robbery, like I want to say that the ones that they had were for Huey. He had all the robberies, and they didn't even really prove that he did the robberies. It was just like he might have had some stolen property, or he was by a car that was similar looking to another car that was hijacked. Like it was crazy. We can look at Georgia statutes for the charges listed in the indictment. Okay, let me write that down. Georgia statutes for the charges. All right, we could do that. And then see to check limitations. All right, we could do that, Brittany. Do you think Paige will grant some directed verdicts? I don't know. She's so finicky. Today, no. Today, I don't think we got the Paige that want to do directed verdicts today. But I do think that her temperament towards the state could possibly get some of the shit thrown out. No cell phone records from Shannon's phone. You can't put them in an area. This case should have never gone past the grand jury. And that's why grand jury rules need to be rewritten. I'm so glad to see you live. Hey, Joanna. Like drug charges from 2013, 2014, etc. And that's what I'm saying too. Like with the things that they were actually convicted of as overt acts, they're just saying that this is proof that this really happened. It happened. So it had to be in furtherance of a gang. Like they're not showing nothing on the return. Like what did they gain from this? So the statute of limitations would have to charge. So the statute of limitations would have to charge one RICO. I'm not understanding what you're saying, CMT. I did it for Thug before his plea. Did you? I just want to say, proud of you, Taylor. You were rocking this content creator thing. Thank you, Lacey, and I appreciate that. They aren't even using Yak's phone. How he's charged with the fact that they don't want to use their phone, don't want to bring it in, don't want to say where it was, don't want to do nothing with Yak's phone. Tells you that Yak ain't had nothing to do with that unaliving. Are we good? Kim said. No immunity for Sumlin. He has a probation revocation on the line. Messy next week. Messy. Yep, I went to look to see what he was facing time-wise. Of course, Kim. Okay. So what website did you go to? Let me see if I could go to. Let me see. Georgia statute of limitations. Or because we're gonna look it up. I definitely agree with Adam's post conference about Fonnie abusing the RICO Act. I didn't watch that yet, but I'm gonna spend time this weekend getting caught up on it. If it's out here publicly, I know I'm not a lawyer, but she has like a little membership that she puts above her, well, in front of her video. So if I can get to it for the free, I'm gonna listen to it. Sad truth is they were really feeling like these men should have no life, take pictures or rap or post on IG. I 100% agree with that. They didn't want them to be anything. Girl, who is this? Wait a minute. It ain't nothing like it. I'm gonna tell you something, okay? It ain't nothing better than when my best friend sent me a screenshot of somebody post, because girl, what's going on? Who is this? I'm gonna have to get back to this. Girl, because what's happening? What's tea? Girl, I gotta tell her we might be co-conspirators, so she better stop. My chat is lagging like crap. Oh. I went to court search and found the case number and charges, then searched the Georgia statute of limitations based on the dates in the indictment. Okay. That's what I'm okay. Court search. Court search, and then we're going to. So were you searching the conviction, or are you just searching? Because I have the charges. The charges are in the indictment. I can't remember. Let me go to my other tab over here, because I know I keep the indictment up at all times. I think I do anyway. I used to. Did I close it out? Yeah, I might have closed it out. Damn it. I know I be doing stuff, boy. Y'all, right now we are going to spend some time looking up the statute of limitations on some of the charges that are listed for Yak and Shannon for the overt acts. We want to see what the statute of limitations are for this. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I apologize if I'm quiet. Y'all want me to play y'all a little music or something? Brian Kemp wanted to have a rule in place for the DAs to abuse their power for notoriety by going after Trump and YSL. Clock that T. We got to admit they absolutely were committing crimes, but the double jeopardy stuff on charges from 10 years ago is crazy work. It's nasty work, Lacey. It ain't crazy. It's nasty. I also do believe that crimes were committed, but that doesn't give you the right to mistreat people or not allow them to have a free trial. I mean, a fair trial. I could just search the statute listed. Okay. I'm pulling up the indictment, y'all. And then I'm going to, I'll share the screen. Again, I'm sorry that I'm quiet. I'm just trying to get this up. As a matter of fact, I need to go to Thugger Daily to get the new indictment because it got all the stuff in it. Get in another indictment. Where is it? Case files. There's no statute of limitations on murder. The weapons and drug charges are from 2022 on Thug's house. Okay, so I would agree. I agree with the murder, and that's from 2022. Okay, wait a minute. Let me go back. But that presentation is all about the theory and Instagram post. No real proof to take away a human's right from being in the world for the rest of their lives. Absolutely. So they got a lot of like participation in criminal street gang activity. Does that have a statute of limitation? Let's look it up. I probably need to cut the. Oh shit, y'all! Why ain't tell me this back?
Everything that was still outstanding and either have come to agreement or have significantly narrowed things, and whatever is left is going to be short enough to deal with after court on Tuesday. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I hear a rumor through Ms. Persfield that y'all in the break have been able to talk about everything that was still outstanding and either have come to agreement or have significantly narrowed things, and whatever is left is going to be short enough to deal with after court on Tuesday. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to, the state intends to give the pared down version of the March 2022 folder over the weekend. And then we'll be able to discuss if there's any objections to it, and then be prepared for argument on Tuesday.
Write myself notes. Okay, and y'all, the defense will come up with a proposed instruction for the text from Mr. Stillwell to his girlfriend about drinks being dead.
Lucci, you're on.
Lucci, whatever, sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
My bad, Lucci.
We'll take care of that, Your Honor.
Okay, the one before that, that was the song lyrics from Mr. Stillwell. First of all, so your proposed is the general, sometimes evidence is admitted against some parties and not others. When this happens, the evidence may be considered by you, the jury, only as to the party against whom it is offered and not against any other defendant or for any other purpose. That's fine. That's just kind of the general law. During the testimony of the next witness, you're going to hear about statements. I definitely do not want to call them statements. So maybe lyrics, what? Sung, rapped, by, just lyrics by.
Lyrics uttered, spoken, rapped.
Words spoken with a beat.
I would rather not. Words spoken with a beat. Lyrics.
Song lyrics of defendant Stillwell, by defendant Stillwell.
The state that the state asserts is defendant Stillwell. I don't know if we should instruct them that it is definitively. I'll say that I am not, as part of my defense, going to be claiming it's not, but out of abundance of caution, maybe.
Okay, how about just certain song lyrics? You are to consider those lyrics Did you copy, yeah, Mr. Short on this also, you did, okay. Can y'all work on this one as well, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then I am not sure that, the reason I said it's maybe overbroad is that you're saying that those can't be considered in any way in determining the guilt or innocence of Mr. Kendrick with respect to any charges.
You'd like to leave the RICO count out
I
of
just
that?
don't think that that's legally accurate. Yeah,
Okay.
so.
We'll try to more narrowly tailor that, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And I know we had talked previously, we thought we were getting to the Ryan conviction first, so I talked specifically about the language for when Mr. Ryan's conviction came in, but now that conviction won't come in, but we still have the possibility of a guilty plea conviction for Mr. Kendrick being admitted, right?
Yes,
Okay, so I think I shared with y'all that language. It was kind of Kendrick on the top and a version of it on the bottom for Ryan. But anyway, I will if I haven't yet. But I would think it would be, and I don't know whether I could either say a guilty plea conviction of Mr. Kendrick or a guilty plea conviction of Mr. Kendrick for whatever it was for, will be admitted for your consideration and may be considered by you only against Mr. Kendrick and only as to counts 1 and 63, which is the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. You may not use this conviction in your consideration or deliberations against any other defendant in this case. Now that we only have one, I could say that, or I could just say against Mr. Stillwell. Any other defendant in this case. Okay. It is not evidence of anything against the other defendant. Each defendant has a right to have his guilt or innocence determined solely on the basis of the evidence presented against him, not by what may have happened with regard to a criminal prosecution of someone else. I'm going to have to look back at, what is the conviction for? What is the guilty plea conviction for?
Which one are we going to be in?
No, it's 15 SC, we'll pull it 140.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone.
What else is it before I left today? If I had the opportunity, I was going to go through and
That'd be great.
get all those for Mr. Winfrey, for my client.
That'd be great.
Mr. Kendrick, and Mr. Nichols.
Let me ask this, is it an overt act? Whatever he pled guilty to.
They are overt acts, and that's essentially the problem is their admissions. I mean, at this point, I would argue that Mr. Nichols' guilty plea should really not be in evidence because it doesn't have any probative value to anyone else's case that's
Well,
sitting here at this point. And same with Mr. Winfrey for that. And
If they're overt acts though, and they're alleged to be in furtherance of the RICO conspiracy, then you are right. The convictions themselves are not. But what I'm trying to figure out, and if like, for instance, Mr. Kendrick's, whatever he pled guilty to, is also an overt act, could y'all?
It is, it's for the October 1st, 2015 incident.
Which overt act?
It is overt act number
Was it 58 or 59?
58. Well, no, 58 is the gun charge.
58 is the gun, 59 is the criminal street gang activity.
Overt act or count?
Oh, overt act.
Overt act.
Okay. Overt act 58?
56, well, all 56 to 59 is the same incident, so it would be really overt act.
What did he plead guilty to? 56 through 59?
Yes.
Okay, I think I'll just pull up his guilty plea.
He was the entire indictment, which was a conspiracy to commit murder, theft, possession of a firearm, and participation in criminal street gang activity.
And did that participation in criminal street gang activity, was that specific? I don't think he did.
I don't think that's accurate.
I
Can
don't
take a
think so
look at
either.
that?
I don't think he pled guilty to the gang count at all.
So you pled guilty to conspiracy to commit a crime, participation in criminal street.
To commit a crime or commit murder? We've got, I mean, thank you. We actually have, I'm sure, somewhere the guilty plea. I'll make sure that it is not something you didn't plead guilty to.
So he took a plea, him and Duke had that situation. That's what they talking about. That's some big shit.
This case.
She ready to get off this case. Y'all heard her?
Yeah.
Conspiracy to commit a crime, 1648.
Aggravated assault. It's conspiracy to commit a crime, which was aggravated assault. That's what's represented in count 1 of that indictment. Participation in criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm or knife in the commission of a felony, theft by receiving stolen property, and BGCSA. Let me make sure this is trying to all counts. He's one through. He's all counts. He's 1 through 11. So there's, let's see, 2 counts of BGCSA, another fleeing, attempting to elude while driving. He pled guilty to the entire indictment. All 11 counts.
Okay, y'all have it listed. Y'all have count 50, I'm sorry, not count, but overt act 56 as him having committed the offense of conspiracy to commit murder, which I realize that maybe y'all could arguably prove that, but that's certainly not what he pled guilty to. So, death by receiving, possession of a firearm. Where's the gang count? Okay, and the gang count that he pled to, I just wanted to see if it specified which gang, and it does not. So, and your 59 is specifically YSL, but that's not what he pled guilty to either. Okay, but anyway, so there's obviously evidence that came in aside from his guilty plea, which hasn't come in yet, but presumably will come in. And given that it's alleged to be an act in furtherance of the RICO conspiracy, the conviction can't come in against anybody other than Mr. Kendrick. But I was going to, and I hadn't sorted it yet for Mr. Kendrick, but I know for Mr. Ryan, y'all were presenting evidence of the murder. And you have presented some evidence aside from the guilty plea to this attempted whatever, conspiracy to commit aggravated assault and or murder. And so I was going to say something like, to the extent the state offers evidence aside from Mr. Kendrick's guilty plea conviction to attempt to establish count 1, any other such evidence aside from Mr. Kendrick's guilty plea may be considered against each defendant, because that's true. Okay, as to count 1, yeah, okay. So I'll be happy to make some adjustments so that this reads like what I just said and send that out to y'all for any comment or correction or improvement that y'all might want to suggest. And then I think that'll get us to the end of what we need to do today on the record. And then y'all are certainly welcome to stay. We're not at 5 o'clock yet. We're just almost to 4 o'clock, to find the evidence and then to organize the evidence, agree upon the exhibits that have already been admitted, whatever you might want to do. That's ultimately going to need to be done at some point.
Can I was going to request a report from council if I took the evidence from this room over the weekend, or
I don't think we can do that. That has to stay, whatever's been admitted has to stay with the court reporter. Right?
Well, we're holding some of that.
Oh, well, right, like guns and drugs and things, y'all still have possession of. Okay, so, I mean, I don't mind if everybody wants to come to agreement, I don't mind. Are you talking about just to take it home and organize it? I'd really rather y'all look at it together.
Yeah, and I don't have, I think it's probably unwise, and it's nothing personal against Mr. Abate, of course, but I was just being selfishly thinking about closing, and we need to figure out where different things are. And then, of course,
I would highly recommend that y'all stick around and try to get the evidence that's been admitted already organized together.
okay.
And I know that,
Can we take it to the jury room to just, oh, that's right, because they got their stuff in there right now. Can we take it to that side room, just so we can have something to spread it out on?
as long as Ms. Weaver ends up with custody of it again when y'all finish, and as long as y'all are all together with it. And I don't mistrust anybody. It's just not a good practice to. Yes, you can also do it here in the courtroom. And this is just a lawyer exercise anyway, right? So we're done for the day. Y'all don't need me. You don't need your clients. This is just y'all getting organized. Okay.
Your Honor, may I just put one brief thing where I talked with defense counsel for the ankle monitor company.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Atkins.
You're welcome, Mr. Sharp.
Yes, what's the next?
Oh, no, there, Your Honor, on witness number 19, which is listed as Charles Floto Ankle Monitor Company, the state was going to be using Doug Bailey for that same position as records custodian. And I talked with defense counsel about that. So I didn't want the court to be caught off guard with a name that's not on this list that's replacing this records custodian.
Okay.
So let me just put this on the record. Your Honor, my client was wearing an ankle monitor at the
Right.
time of all this happening. In my view, and this has already been litigated, but I just want to put on the record, in my view, we are not disputing that Mr. Stillwell is at the BP on video. So I don't think his whereabouts, to the extent that an ankle monitor clarifies anything, it's not really made any more clear by the ankle monitor. It's not really a dispute
Are
in
y'all
this
going to
case.
stipulate that he was at the BP?
Well,
before and after.
So the state, I believe, wants to bring it.
Oh, shit. Come on, man. Me crazy.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Well, so I am, so the state, I believe, wants to bring out where he was through his ankle monitor. My argument was,
Getting the windows tinted.
Or the car clean.
Is it going to show that? Oh, that would be interesting.
well, so I have objected on the record for
Because it's going to show that
that
he was an ankle monitor.
he had an ankle monitor, and I objected under 403.
All right, but don't we know anyway that he got arrested on, oh, wait.
I don't think
no,
he was
that
on the ankle monitor for any of these other issues.
Okay.
There was an
so-
incident in Cobb County.
Okay, y'all already litigated it then?
We did, and I just wanted to put on the record, but I think probably if we're just going to say he had an ankle monitor on, but just leave it at that. So
Are we just gonna leave it at that? Okay.
Boys like to ride and clean cars. Like, I don't understand what is illegal about going to get a car clean for unalive. We all just saw you didn't do, but hey, it is what it is.
Your Honor,
Yeah, they probably host. You gotta pay
Mr. Shard and I were just discussing.
I'm not paying.
Investigator Viverito has familiarity with Mr. Stillwell, as well as others, Mr. Garlington, through her time with the probation department, Mr. Copeland, and just figuring out how to deal with how she knew them. We're going to probably use some language such that she worked for court services, and that's how she knew them, because he doesn't want us to mention probation. But we just wanted to bring that to the court's attention.
How do you feel about that, Mr. Shaw?
Well, I prefer court services. I mean, I don't think that's, I don't want to lie to the jury, but I think that is accurate, but not specific in a way that would prejudice my client.
Okay.
Or the court system.
I mean, court services sounds better than court supervision or what you just said, whatever you said.
Court service is good.
I mean, to me, it does.
To me as well.
If y'all, whatever y'all want to agree to, but.
That's fine.
All right, so y'all will stay here with the evidence and sort through it. Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell, y'all can go. We'll see y'all Tuesday. Hopefully you got some sleep over the weekend. Okay. All right, we are adjourned.
What y'all think? What y'all think about that? I'm gonna go back and watch Paige's apology because I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I think, okay. No, I mean, Shay, that's good feedback, girl. I thought it was a YouTube thing. I didn't know it was a line crime thing. But if you saying it's not a YouTube thing and I don't have to pay for ads, ad removals, and I could just go on over to Atlanta, girl, that's where we gonna go. Trust and believe. I take all the feedback. I don't I don't feel no type of way about it. Trust and believe. Okay. I want to hear Paige apology because I didn't hear it. Hey, Gaston. They trying to say it got clean after the unaliving Crystal. I want to hear the apology because I didn't hear it. Did anybody else in here hear the apology? Y'all heard it?
Before we broke for lunch, we were hashing through a bunch of Instagram conversations, and I was reading one out loud and basically saying it as my eyes were going over it for the first time ever, and just reading whatever was on the paper, and I read out the word NIGGAS, which I hope that was not offensive to anyone. It was certainly not meant to be offensive to anyone. I do not use that word. And it was merely, I should have been looking first before I said it, whatever I said out loud, to edit if there were, any offensive words. So I want to apologize on the record for that. Now, with regard to the songs,
I think we should watch it again. I think I need to hear it a second time. Let's just go back. Let's I don't know. Let's go back. Let's go back one more time. Just one more time, and go back through it because we're gonna play it.
Before we broke for lunch, we were hashing through a bunch of Instagram conversations, and I was reading one out loud and basically saying it as my eyes were going over it for the first time ever, and just reading whatever was on the paper, and I read out the word NIGGAS, which I hope that was not offensive to anyone. It was certainly not meant to be offensive to anyone. I do not use that word. And it was merely, I should have been looking first before I said it, whatever I said out loud, to edit if there were, any offensive words. So I want to apologize on the record for that. Now, with regard to
Okay. You hope that it wasn't offensive. You hope that it wasn't offensive. Let's start with we're gonna break this apology. Let's start. You hope that it wasn't offensive. You know it's offensive. We got hundreds of years of reasons why it's offensive. You hope that it was not offensive. And instead of just coming out and just saying, you know what, I was reading that post and I said XYZ, I'm sorry. You know what? I want to start. I'm sorry to everybody in the room who that may have offended, or who that I don't even like the word may have offended. I don't even know how to craft the apology for it, but it's okay. I will play it again, y'all. I will play. Which you want me to play? You want me to play the apology part, or you want me to play her saying the word? Because why did you go the spelling? You sat there, you spelled it. You said it, and then you spelled it, and then you said you hope that we didn't feel like you hope that it wasn't offensive, and then you said whatever I said. Like, bitch, you heard what you said. I didn't mean to say that like that, but you heard what you said. You know what the fuck you said. I don't usually get like this, and I'm sorry to my supporters, but girl, you know what you said. You said what you said. I'm about to. What part y'all want me to play? Y'all want me to play her saying it, or y'all want me to play her apologizing? As a judge, she needs to have more decorum. Y'all want me to play her saying it? All right, let's go on over there. Let's hear her say it. Play both of them in succession. I don't think I'm a. Okay, hold on. Somebody get the timestamp for me so we can quickly get back to this one. So one of my folks grab the timestamp of 22, 22, 23, 39 and throw it in the chat. Y'all got it in the chat for me? 2, 23. All right, throw that out there. All right, and we're gonna go back. I want to say, okay, I gotta find it. Miss Hilton don't have her glasses on, so I'm trying to.
The new Bearskin Hoodie 4.0 claims to be the most advanced waterproof tactical hoodie.
5 Ps. That's Cormavius Nichols on page 8865.
Uh-huh.
And the state feels that that is, that's of course, and then if you go to amongst each other, that's the state's position. And defendant Stillwell is a part of this group thread. And then we get to where the thread we just discussed about trying to shoot wife and Lucci, it starts at 9839 and continues through 9840.
I want to say it's somewhere around here.
Sorry. Hang on.
Okay, it's before this.
Do we know?
Like, they're not doing enough to
Oh, she just said it.
honor him or whatever. I don't know that you can say, I mean, you can say, oh, that means,
Having sex.
I mean, yeah, just 403, I'm excluding all of this.
Your Honor, can I go to the thread where they're talking about shooting wife and Lucci?
I mean, yeah, that would at least have some, cogent potential connection to this trial. Yes. Where would that be?
Go to page 9839. The whole YFN is at the Chevron Blue Ivory shooting a video. Lucci's out there, gray Audi, Lucci's in it, and a black X6 truck. My rental doesn't have paper plates, but it can slide.
That seems relevant.
All right, pull up with the shit.
Hadn't found 9839 yet, but whatever you're reading sounds relevant.
Are we getting rid of everything?
Pull up with the
I will
shit.
check between, but I wanted to get to the most 801 D2 statement I could possibly find that I think this satisfies the street gang element of trying to shoot wife and
Okay.
Lucci.
All right. That's admissible. Wherever it is, that page is admissible.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Atkins was pissed.
Before we get there, can we just, I'm just trying to go in order so I don't mess myself up.
I'll speed it up. I want
8919, I
wanna
see a
listen.
picture of an incredibly handsome man sitting next to me. I believe appears to be drinking a clear liquid drink. Is there any?
The picture, you're talking about Shan Stillwell?
8919.
Yep. So after that post, this is, I believe, close in time to when they had the memorial for Big Boo. I'm trying to find that page number, but it says, we have to do it for Big Boo. These people are lacking, as in they don't have firearms on them, so they're easier to.
Well, I mean, they're talking about drinking.
Right.
Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I got to do it for Boo. These niggas lacking. Like, they're not doing enough to.
All right, that's where she said it. That's where she said it. And then that's the picture of on Thugger Daily's page. That's where she said it. That's where she said it. Joanna, pull up with the shit was so funny. He said that shit so hard. He said shit so hard. Like, pull up with the shit. I don't know how to zoom in. Y'all got to teach me how to do this. Y'all know I'm new. I'm new to this. She didn't mean no harm. He said, pull up with the shit. I'm like, what? Okay, and now we're going to fast forward into her. I'm going to run it back just one more time. Y'all say I should use the arrows.
Honor him or whatever. I don't know that you can say. I mean, you can say, oh, that means they don't have guns on them, but that would be quite a stretch.
Yeah.
Given the context in which it comes up.
Yeah, sure.
And then here we have the apology. Y'all don't even play it again. Leave it play.
Before we broke for lunch, we were hashing through a bunch of.
Hold on, because they y'all said y'all want to see Hilton, so just pay attention to Hilton.
That it's referencing to the same female who's
The girl.
who's
Okay,
referencing
so
both
that's
sides.
out.
Yes, Your Honor.
8922 is out. So now we're on 797 and 798. What's that in here for? Because nothing's highlighted, so I don't know.
Damn, I lost the timestamp, y'all.
Talking to a gentleman who's in prison. And so Demekion Garlington
Well, they
is
got
talking to ODOGG_YGC. And who says, I'm at Hayes. He means Hayes State Prison. And then they continue to.
Getting rid of everything.
I will check between, but I wanted to get to the most 801D2 statement I could possibly find that I think this satisfies the street gang element of trying to shoot wife.
Show your daughter how much you love her with this beautiful gift. It says,
That page is invisible.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Before we get there, can we just, I'm just trying to go in order, so I don't mess myself up. 8919, I see a picture of an incredibly handsome man sitting next to me. I believe appears to be drinking a clear liquid drink. Is there any?
The picture, you're talking about Chance Dillwell?
8919.
Yeah. So after that post, this is, I believe, close in time to when they had the memorial for Big Boo. I'm trying to find that page number, but it says we have to do it for Big Boo. These people are lacking, as in they don't have firearms on them, so they're easier to.
Well, I mean, they're talking about drinking.
Right.
Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I got to do it for Boo. These niggas lacking. Like, they're not doing enough to honor him or whatever. I don't know that you can say, I mean, you can say, oh, that means they don't have guns on them, but that would be quite a stretch.
Yeah.
Given the context in which it comes up.
Yes, Your Honor. We will not use that page.
The security guard is over there. Thank you, Anika. Thank you. I just wrote it down. Use your keyboard arrows. My keyboard, yeah, okay. Well, look, I got the timestamp now, so it don't even matter. But Hilton turned around, she started laughing. She looked at Maurice. He back there in the corner next to the board. He started laughing. And then I guess it took a minute for it to sit in with Yak, because then Yak started laughing. Like, girl, she breezed past it so quick. And then we go back to now we going to the apology. Now I didn't play it for you. Now we're going back to the apology. And the apology is right here. Here's the apology. Maya, I'm not playing it again. Now we back to the apology. I hope it wasn't offensive. I don't use that word, whatever I said, because now she just don't know what she said. We getting back into that. Oh, you didn't see the boys?
Before we broke for lunch, we were hashing through a bunch of Instagram conversations, and I was reading one out loud and basically saying it as my eyes were going over it for the first time ever, and just reading whatever was on the paper, and I read out the word NIGGAS, which I hope that was not offensive to anyone. It was certainly not meant to be offensive to anyone. I do not use that word. And it was merely, I should have been looking first before I said it, whatever I said out loud, to edit if there were, any offensive words. So I want to apologize on the record for that. Now, with regard to the songs, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I did not mean any. I was not able to listen to the songs.
All right. And then I actually did hear him say, Your Honor, I was not offended. It says she sounds like She sounds like she does when she's making something up to tell the jury. Y'all out of control. Y'all OC. I think that was Shannon. Maya, I think that was Shannon. I think that was Shannon. They say Maurice got to get some better angles. She really sounded weird saying it. All right, y'all. We got to go find the clip. Now we finna go. I don't know if y'all know where it's at or not. So if y'all know where it's at, just say you know where it's at. But now we need to go find the clip of Paige saying, I want off this case. Okay. Yes, we about to get the hot mic. So if you know what a hot mic part is, just go ahead and drop it in the comments. If you got the timestamp. If you don't got the timestamp, I'm about to try and look for it. But Paige said she won't off this case. She said she's tired. She said she's tired. Yeah. Paige said she's tired. She said I won't off this case. It was around the time when
have you ever considered at-home needling? This is Cure's micro-infusion system. Now, it's gone viral several times on social media because of its...
We are getting out of here. They said, what she said, what she told me? Hey, I think she told me Atlanta News 5. Did she tell me AFN don't have? Ooh. Didn't she tell me AFN don't have commercials?
Follow Atlanta News First and get breaking news that impacts your safety first.
First Alert weather from Atlanta's most accurate team so you can stay days ahead of dangerous weather.
Oh, Ja, and it just show every day. Every day I look older and older. Let's try this stream. Let's see if we can get through the news stream without having to do commercials. What's wrong with the audio over here?
Conversation, which is the I guess the raw conversations before they consolidate them. Is it? Am I correct that you guys are
antagonizing the rival gang?
Do y'all remember where it's at? Let me see.
As well as kind of which we're used to like flaunt and
Free to judge. Y'all know it's on too. I gotta hook up my one of my monitors to her so it'll be easier for me to see what y'all saying and go ahead and do it because I'm okay. I think Law and Crime does that on purpose. Yeah, Fox was low all day. Okay. I gotta hook up my other monitor because this ain't gonna work. This is only my second time doing this to y'all, so I just want to thank y'all for even suffering through this with me because we suffering, okay? We suffering today. Where is Atlanta News First is what it's called. What am I from today? All right, y'all. Look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated right now. It's been a while since they started. I am getting so frustrated. You saved the clip. Did anybody know what the timestamp is on when the woman said, I want off this case? As a matter of fact, I said something and I actually got the time. It was okay. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna look back in the chat and see where I actually said something to the folks in the chat, and I'm gonna deduct the time from the current time to find the spot. Okay. Let me see. Christina, wait a minute, y'all. Christina's like, I'm going through the comments. She's talking about how did I miss that? Okay. Let me go back to. We're gonna go back.
Please sign the petition and urge Congress to make assault rifles illegal for civilians. There's no practical application in civilized society for assault rifles. We need your help. Please tell Congress to outlaw them now. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, y'all.
Photograph should be.
I want to say it's closer to the end.
I'll make sure that it is not something you didn't plead against Mr. Kendrick, and only as to counts 1 and 63, which is the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. You may not use this conviction in your consideration or deliberations against any other defendant in this case. Now that we only have one, I could say that, or I could just say against Mr. Stillwell.
Oh, they didn't go live today. So why am I looking for that?
Any other defendant in this case. Okay.
Yeah. Was it when they were talking? I think
it's not evidence of anything against the other defendant.
I believe it was when
each defendant has a right to have his guilt or innocence determined solely on the basis of the evidence presented against him, not by what may have happened with regard to a criminal prosecution of someone else.
Because I can't hear. No, y'all.
What is the guilty plea conviction for?
Okay, I do need to turn it up. I think it was when. All right, let me see.
That'd be great.
Y'all, we looking for when she said, I want off the face. Because she said that too. And I can't remember what time it was.
Let me ask this. Is it an overt act? Whatever he pled guilty to.
They are overt acts. And that's essentially the problem is their admissions. I mean, at this point, I would argue that Mr. Nichols' guilty plea should really not be in evidence because it doesn't have any probative value to anyone else's case that's sitting here at this point. And same with Mr. Winfrey for that. And
if they're overt acts, though, and they're alleged to be in furtherance of the RICO conspiracy, then there is.
Okay, it was 2.
You're right. The convictions themselves are not.
And that was
what I'm trying to figure out. And if like, for instance, Mr. Kendrick's, whatever he pled guilty to, is also an overt act, could y'all?
It is. It's for the October 1st, 2015.
Which overt act?
It's somewhere around here, actually. I would think that would be
58 or 59. 58 is the gun. 59 is the criminal street gang activity.
It's somewhere.
Overt act or count?
Overt act.
Okay. Overt act 58.
All right, so just bear with me, y'all, because we in the right.
What did you plead guilty to? 56, 359?
Coming up.
Okay, I think I'll just pull up his guilty plea. And did that participation in criminal street gang activity, was that specific? I don't think he did.
I don't think that's accurate. Can I take a look at that?
I don't think he pled guilty to the gang count at all. To commit a crime or to commit murder? We've got, I mean, thank you. We actually have, I'm sure, somewhere the guilty plea. I'll make sure that it is not something you didn't plead guilty to. So many footsteps in this case.
There it go, y'all. Hold on. Okay, y'all said use my arrows. So I hope, look, if I fuck this up, what time stamp we on? Hold on. See, y'all got me cursing today. I don't even be cursing. I'll be good about it. Let me see. I'm 4116. All right. I wish we was actually on Law and Crime because the Law and Crime audio is a lot louder than it is over here. Y'all do know that, right? So do y'all want to switch over to the Law and Crime chat and maybe endure a commercial? I don't like when I cuss. I do not be cursing. I do not be cursing. I do not be cursing. But today, they got me unhinged today. Do both. Okay, well, we get ready to do, I'm getting ready to run it back on this one more time. Let me see. Do I? Okay, well, I got to use it. My arrow not working.
Conspiracy to commit a crime, 1648. 1648. Arguably prove that, but that's certainly not what he pled guilty to. So, death by receiving, possession of a firearm. Where's the gang count? Okay, and the gang count that he pled to, I just wanted to see if it specified which gang, and it does not. So, and your 59 is specifically YSL, but that's not what he pled guilty to either. Okay, but anyway, so there's obviously evidence that came in aside from his guilty plea, which hasn't come in yet, but presumably will come in. And given that it's alleged to be an act in furtherance of the RICO conspiracy, the conviction can't come in against anybody other than Mr. Kendrick. But I was going to, and I hadn't sorted it yet for Mr. Kendrick, but I know for Mr. Ryan, you know, y'all were presenting evidence of the murder. And you have presented some evidence aside from the guilty plea to this attempted, whatever, conspiracy to commit aggravated assault and or murder. And so I was going to say something like, to the extent the state offers evidence aside from Mr. Kendrick's guilty plea conviction to attempt to establish count one, any other such evidence aside from Mr. Kendrick's guilty plea may be considered against each defendant, because that's true. Again, as to count one. Yeah. Okay. So I'll be happy to make some adjustments so that this reads like what I just said and send that out to y'all for any comment or correction or improvement that y'all might want to suggest. And then I think that'll get us to the end of what we need to do today on the record, and then y'all are certainly welcome to stay. We're not at 5 o'clock yet. We're just almost to 4 o'clock to find the evidence and then to organize the evidence, agree upon the exhibits that have already been admitted, whatever you might want to do. That's ultimately going to need to be done at some point.
And I was going to request before council if I took the evidence from this room over the weekend, or
I don't think we can do that. That has to stay, whatever's been admitted has to stay with the court reporter. Right? Oh, well, right, like guns and drugs and things, y'all still have possession of. Okay, so, I mean, I don't mind if everybody wants to come to agreement, I don't mind. Are you talking about just to take it home and organize it? I'd really rather y'all look at it together.
And I don't have, I think it's probably unwise, and it's nothing personal against Mr. Abate, of course, but I was just being selfishly thinking about closing, and we need to figure out where different things are. And then, of course,
I would highly recommend that y'all stick around and try to get the evidence that's been admitted already organized together.
Okay.
And I know that.
Can we take it to the jury room to just? Oh, that's right, because they got their stuff in there right now. Can we take it to that side room so we can have something to spread it out on?
As long as Ms. Weaver ends up with custody of it again when y'all finish, and as long as y'all are all together with it.
Yeah, we passed it. I'm sorry, y'all, because I was trying to get the stream over on Twitter and I missed it. So let me, anybody who just got in here, let me get you up to speed, okay? Right now we are rewatching some of the crazy moments for today. And we've already listened to the N-bomb, we've listened to the apology, and now we're going to the part where Paige says she won't off this case. It actually happens right when they bring up the conviction for Diamante Kendrick, which is Yak Gotti. I think everybody know. But Yak actually pled guilty to the situation where him and Duke was in the car and they got caught with the guns getting ready to go do whatever they was finna do because Duke got jumped in Magic City. Right? Remember, both of them already pled guilty to that and have served their time for it. But because it's a RICO, it got swept back up. So when they're talking about the pleas, they're talking about the plea that he took for that situation. All right. And again, I apologize. I was just trying to get the stream over to Twitter. So that's what we were looking. It's really low over here. The mic over here is super low. So okay, I guess I can't add it. The mic over here is super low. So we just listened to it on what's this? Fox 5. Right now we getting ready to switch over to the Law and Crime one because the audio was much louder and we already got the timestamp. So let me jump over to them and we're gonna get right to it.
If you're thinking of selling your home soon, you don't want to miss out on this. Not only will I buy your house fast.
That's the downside to it.
I don't think that's accurate. Can I
don't
take a
think
look
so
at that?
I don't think he pled guilty to the gang count at all.
yes, so you pled guilty to conspiracy to commit crime, participation in criminal street
To
gang.
commit a crime or to commit murder? We've got, I mean, thank you. We actually have, I'm sure, somewhere the guilty plea. I'll make sure that it is not something you didn't plead guilty to. So many folders in this case.
She said something. I can't hear it, y'all. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit and see if I can hear it again. She said something about this case.
Yeah.
Conspiracy to commit a crime, 1648.
Aggravated assault.
You to.
Okay, I think I'll just pull up his guilty plea.
He was the entire indictment, which was the conspiracy to commit murder theft, possession of a firearm, and participation in criminal street gang activity.
And did that participation in criminal street gang activity, was that specific? I don't think he did.
I don't think that's accurate.
I
Can
don't
I take
think
a look
so
at that?
I don't think he pled guilty to the gang count at all.
So you pled guilty to conspiracy to commit a crime, participation in criminal street.
To commit a crime or commit murder? We've got, I mean, thank you. We actually have, I'm sure, somewhere the guilty plea. I'll make sure that it is not something you didn't plead guilty to. So many folders in this case.
I don't know. Did y'all hear what she said? Did y'all hear? Put the captions on. Come on now, Shay. All right, let me put the captions on and we're gonna rewind it back again. Y'all know I only got one screen. I promise the next time we do this, I'm gonna have my other screen up so I can see y'all comments and see the thing. So just stay with me. Just stay with me. I'm gonna put the comments on. So many things in this case. That's what you got. So many effed up in this. Brooklyn, I like your response. So many somethings in this case. So many folders in this case. Slow it down. Got it. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna slow it down. We're gonna cut the captions on, and we're gonna figure out what was said. Detective work. All right. So first, we're going to cut the captions on. Then we are going to slow it down just a little bit, and we're going to back it up. All right.
Overt act or count?
Overt act.
Okay, somewhere the guilty plea. I'll make sure that it is not something you didn't plead guilty to. So many folders in this case.
Oh, okay. We thought she said she was sick of this case. She said so many folders and so many folders in this case. We thought we had her, y'all. We thought we had her on another hot mic, but it was folders. So many folders. So many folders in this case. We thought we had her. We thought we had her for a minute, y'all. Hey, everybody. Is my TikTok family over here? We thought we had her, y'all. I'm not playing. We really did think that we had her. TikTok family, are y'all here? Okay, I see Chantel in the comments. She over it. Yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm like, we didn't jumped up like 10, 20 people. Where do these people come from? Of course. Okay, y'all in the building. Miss Wyatt. Hey, Miss Wyatt, girl. Okay, I'm just making sure, y'all. I'm just making sure because I'm like, how we jumped up a few people. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna drop the link because I got a little time today. I'm gonna drop the link. Y'all know I never brought anybody up here. Hey, Dee. And y'all tell me what y'all think about today. Y'all could bring up whatever you want to bring up. Now, y'all know this is my first time doing the guest situation. So we're gonna work it out together. And I'm gonna hook up one of my monitors because I got an extra monitor sitting around here. I'm gonna hook up my extra monitor so that we can do it. Let's talk. We're finna talk about it. Yes. Subscribe. If you have not subscribed to my channel, you need to subscribe, okay? Subscribe. And y'all know I was the last time I checked, I was 263 people away from 1,000. So we are almost at 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, Make sure that you subscribe. Let's just say, okay, y'all. So my cousin said, let's talk about it. Where is Misty Williams? Her name is Miss D Williams. And if you want to talk to her, I talked to her yesterday. So all you gotta do is go back to my page and go to my videos and check out our interview. Okay, because Miss D Williams had us hollering last night. I'm gonna stop presenting. Am I presenting? Okay. Miss D Williams had us hollering last night. Okay, she kept calling Mariah the liar. She made sure we didn't know it was because y'all know Thug girlfriend name is Mariah the scientist. Baby, she made sure we knew it was Mariah the liar last night. If you didn't watch that interview with Miss D Williams, you losing. It was an amazing interview. I absolutely love my panel. My girls from over on TikTok, like we all stick together. We all support one another, and I feel like we do a really good job of that. So it looks like we got Mr. Dennis Byron is coming over here. So let's go and bring Mr. Byron up and say, hey, how's it going?
Good evening. I just decided to pull up. I was kind of cruising the neighborhood, and I just said, let me pull up and show some love to these content creators. What's going on?
Nothing much. We're just in here chit-chatting. What about you?
I'm just watching. I want to see what the people are talking about. I'm just in here. I ain't causing no trouble. I'm just coming over here to see what you're doing over here. I see the judge like to drop the N-word, so I had to pull up to see what the folks talking about because it was very fluid. And when she said it, I'm like, wait a minute, we got Trump in the office now. She's saying this. What's going on?
What's going on? I mean, well, when she said it, I think everybody's jaw dropped. Even in the room, you could tell everybody was kind of surprised, kind of didn't know how to respond. But the sheriff over in the corner, he kind of cracked a smile, and then Hilton kind of turned around and looked at the camera. So I do think that it was a shocker. What I will say is that while a lot of people are saying that it could have been an honest mistake because she was reading off of the paper, I do feel like as a judge, she should have had a lot more decorum about it. And she should have been able to stop herself from saying that word, regardless if you were reading it or not.
I mean, we all read. We read. Well, I like thing we all read, and we like to, because you put it into mind, and then you put it into words. It's in your mind and your words. So at some point, you should like that. Come on now. We've been through this trial. We've seen everyone pretty much, especially Attorney Brian Still, who's been very cautious in how he delivered his words. The judge felt like she was relaxed. She said it. She had bars with it. I thought she was going to have a beat behind it. I'm like, wait a minute. She might become a meme later. I don't know. We have to see. I'm not in the courtroom today. I don't know if you saw what happened to me last week.
I don't follow the drama. I don't follow the mess. I do know that you're not in the courtroom, but any details behind it, I don't know anything about it.
Get up to speed now. I was in the courtroom. And I'm not in there right now, but I could be in there. I choose not to be in it today. I have a bunch of stuff going on. I just want to come up and just show some love to the content creator. You're covering the trial. And it's been so many twists and turns in this trial, and and this is just another one. It's like this is a never-ending situation when it comes to these let's just say slips, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we give it. As long as you don't say it again. You get this one, Judge, but the next one we're gonna have the NAACP outside your courtroom.
I disagree, Dennis, because the apology was disingenuous. And while you may not have offended the individuals in the room, you got thousands of us that are watching that do not play that. It's a lot of us that don't play that. So I feel like there should have been a little bit more sincerity behind that apology. And not only to them, but to everybody else that was watching. I think it was poorly done.
Well, luckily, Mr. Stillwell Jackson felt that he wasn't offended.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of rappers are offended because they say it all the time to each other. My nigga this, my nigga that. I can say, listen, we can say it, but we shouldn't say it. I will just say that we can say it, we shouldn't say it. But when you have a judge that's saying it on camera, Imagine what happens when the cameras are not in the courtroom.
Oh, she's gonna see what happens when the camera's not in the courtroom, because everybody's getting ready to run with the story, regardless of what her intention was or not. So she's gonna feel the after effect of what she said, regardless.
Well, hopefully she's gets some grace from her colleagues, because Fulton County have a nice amount of Black judges there as well. So,
Yeah,
I'm sure thick skin, they're okay. It's just when you have all these defendants and lawyers that don't look like her in the courtroom, and then you saw how Miss Hilton looked. You looked at, turned around, looked at Maurice like, did you get this?
She did. I think it was a shock. If she had not learned that lesson before, she's getting ready to learn it now. So when we talk about grace, I don't know everybody's going to show her that, but I do believe that she's definitely going to learn a lesson today.
No, again, she apologized. So, and I have to see her again. So I can't say too much when I say no.
Yeah. I mean, if you are open to accepting that apology, more power to you. I mean, I guess she made it, so I guess I have to acknowledge that, but I do doubt the sincerity of it, just the way that it was delivered. Like,
So as I came in, I heard you say you had Attorney D. Williams on your show yesterday.
Absolutely. I had Miss D. Williams. She pulled up on TikTok with us last night for an interview. It's about an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay. Well, you probably got more talk out of her than the whole trial.
Absolutely. And we addressed that. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to see what she said, all you got to do is watch the interview. I've already uploaded it to my page. Check it out. It was really good.
What is your TikTok page?
I'm Taylor Umbridge on TikTok and on YouTube, but it's actually on my YouTube channel. So when you leave out of here, just go check it out.
I will. I'll do that.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for coming up, Dennis. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Keep doing what you're doing. And we're going to be in the bushes watching and making sure you're getting it right. Because we lead the youth the right way.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Thanks for bringing me up. Appreciate you.
Thank you. She was absolutely nice. Prophetic Princess, Miss D. Williams. I gained a lot of respect for her, just learning about her, learning about how she felt about the trial. I thought that it was super, super insightful. And she was amazing. So you handled that very well. What are you talking about? I thought it was good. So this is what I'm saying. So we just kind of had the conversation with Dennis about the sincerity level within the sincerity level within the apology for the M-bomb. How do y'all feel about it? All right. What do y'all think about the apology and what she said, the level of offensiveness? Like, what are y'all thoughts? That went well. What are y'all talking about? Is there a lag on the comment? I think there's a comment lag, y'all. So I may not be seeing what y'all saying. But I want to know what did y'all think about her level of sincerity within the apology? Like, are you guys accepting the apology? Like, where do you stand? She shouldn't have said it. KSW said it didn't bother her at all. It definitely felt like a dry apology. I was okay until she gave that backhanded apology. Is they stressed you out? All right, Rain, go watch the interview. Diddy said it didn't bother me. I don't believe the apology. Still deals with the community a lot, and then 150 days, he never even came close to saying it. She could have been more apologetic. Here's my thing. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I felt like it was disrespectful. Maybe not to me, but I know that there are plenty of other people out here who don't play that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like as a community, we have to protect how somebody else may feel, even though we may not feel it, because nobody else protects us. We have to protect ourselves. And so again, while it did not offend me personally, I know that there's people out there that it did offend, and that's where I have an issue with it, because I'm all about community. I'm all about support. I'm gonna give me a light so that we don't have this light issue going on. But I feel like that's where my issue came in at, right? And I agree. And I agree. You got to see people for who they are. It's been very clear who she was since the beginning. So, you know, it's levels to it. I wonder who brought it to her attention. And that's the thing too, right? Like, she said it, and she said it without, even after the fact it came out of her mouth, she didn't acknowledge it. She moved right past it. It was very dismissive. And I didn't like that. There was a lot of time to clean it up, and it didn't happen. So you know what I mean? That's just where we are. Hey, Jess, welcome. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Right. It should not have been an afterthought. Absolutely. Thank you, Christina. Okay. Oh, Lord. Rain said she been wanting to say it. At this point, you need an interview with Paige when it's over. We got questions. Chantel, I want to tell y'all who I'm trying to get, but I don't want nobody to burn it up. You can tell she didn't even realize it came out of her mouth in the moment. You read it. As a law professional, I can't believe that, because when you read, you are to consume the information that you have and to evaluate it immediately. And so to breeze past that word like that in open court out loud, I think it was not very mindful. It was not demure. It was not. There was no shock from her. No shock at all. Exactly. There was no shock from her at all. There wasn't even a ooh, like, there was nothing. It was too casual. I agree with that. She even laughed afterwards. And all of these things come together, you know what I mean? Because this is what communication is about. The way you say things, the inflection in your voice, your body language, like all of this comes together in understanding communication. So just the way that it went for me, like I said, personally, her saying it, did it offend me? No, but I know it might have offended somebody else that looked like me, and now I got an issue with it. Like that's just how I am. I ride for my people. I ride for my people. I am very pro-Black all day long. She came back kind of irritated that she had to address it, and then it was like, I'm apologizing for the record, like. For the record, what about the people? And maybe, and I don't want to twist her words, but she did say, I did want to apologize that it was on the record, but there is no racial slur that I can read about another ethnic group that I could say I would have stopped, because I don't use racial slurs in private. Because wouldn't there been like a thought like, this is inappropriate? Like a red flag would have like gone off like, ooh, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm not even gonna say what I want to say, but there are certain people who are in other, let's say, religious groups where you can't even think about saying certain things, and it's over for you. It's 100% over for you. So I felt like I 100% agree with that. I agree with that. You know what I mean? She spelled it out. She said it, and then yes, Bridget, she turned around and spelled it out. It was like saying it twice, in my opinion. Whether people are offended or not, there are ways to convey a word without saying that word. The defense attorneys did a great job of not saying it for 160 days. Ride for who? Laugh out loud. Just kidding. I'm a ride for my people. I'm a ride for my people. It was a half apology. She could have apologized off camera. That's another thing. She's trying to be slick and get herself removed. I think she's so close to the end of it, she might as well just see it through. She want to see it through, see it through. So many effing errors in this case. Absolutely, Ashley. It sounds like that. Absolutely. It just shows the level of mistakes in this case. She seems already frustrated. She just went with the flow. I said that word while reading a post. I meant to say the swear word, and I'm a little lost right there, Crystal. She shouldn't allow the lyrics in anyway. Okay, Peach, because we're gonna have the ghost of Glanville pops up every now and then, making sure that those lyrics can be admitted. The lawyers was reading and saying, guys, and it's like she needed to hear it the way she saw it. It came too natural. At this point, we need a mistrial for her saying it, even if Shannon was okay with it. But she wasn't reading it in a disrespectful way. She was reading it and she saw it. Paige said the N-word. Yes, she did. Got to see it through, my boy. Yes, she do. She has to see it through. Still wouldn't even say HELL in court. Hell in court. I was just being funny, y'all. That was just my joke at what happened. But she go saying the N-word. She should have and could have addressed it right then. And that's where I think, like I said, the issue kind of comes in. Yeah, Paige said the N-word today. She should not have said it. Yes. Yak. If you watch Yak, all right, y'all. We about to watch it again, but we are watching for everybody's response. All right. So I'm gonna take it back so that we can see it. And we are watching for everybody else's response. I want y'all to pay attention to the court reporter and the clerk, Miss Percival. That's what we're gonna pay attention to first. All right. So let me run it back to that point. Or is this the apology? Is that the apology? Wait a minute. Shoot, the timestamp messed up.
If you keep going a little bit.
Yeah, I've read all the way through 90.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just trying to figure out what portion of this you want.
Yeah, we done lost the timestamp.
The F everybody who's not with slime. We have to move in one located so that they can go possibly shoot him.
Media alert or something that.
I'm always worried about this stream.
If 9483.
Okay, it's right before this.
And so. And do not know his and where is everyone? Antonio Slay.
From that alone.
Go to page 9839. The whole YFN is at the Chevron Blue Ivory shooting a video. Lucci's out there. Gray Audi. Lucci's in it. And a black X6 truck. My rental doesn't have paper plates, but it can slide.
That seems relevant.
All right, pull up with the shit.
Hadn't found 9839 yet, but whatever you're reading sounds relevant.
Are we getting rid of everything?
I will check between, but I wanted to get to the most 801 D2 statement I could possibly find that I think this satisfies the street gang.
Yeah, wait a minute. Is Paige still laughing at the fact that Atkins said pull up with the shit? Because she is cracking up. Do y'all see her? Paige is cracking up. I think she laughing at Atkins when he said pull up with the shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I just had a moment, but here we go.
Element of trying to shoot wife and Lucci.
All right. That's admissible. Wherever it is. That page is admissible.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Before we get there, can we just, I'm just trying to go in order so I don't mess myself up. 8919, I see a picture of an incredibly handsome man sitting next to me. I believe appears to be drinking a clear liquid drink. Is there any?
The picture you're talking about of Shan Stillwell?
8919.
Yeah. So after that post, this is, I believe, close in time to when they had the memorial for Big Boo. I'm trying to find that page number, but it says, we have to do it for Big Boo. These people are lacking, as in they don't have firearms on them. So
Wait a minute. Do y'all hear Atkins read it? Didn't y'all hear what he just said? Did y'all just hear what he said? These people are lacking. Atkins knew not to say the word. He said these people are lacking. All right, now here we go.
so they're easier to.
Well, I mean, they're talking about drinking.
Right.
Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I got to do it for Boo. These niggas lacking. Like, they're not doing enough to honor him or whatever.
Didi, it's okay that you didn't get offended. We talked about that a little bit because honestly, I wasn't offended by it. But I will say that because I know that there are people who look like me that would be offended by it. I have an issue. I think there's a level of decorum and grace that you should have as a judge, and I don't think that she displayed that today, or in that moment. And so, yeah, I just think that was not good. That was not good. And yes, and that is Hilton's face right there. Look at he over here. He's smiling. Miss Percival then dug her face into the screen. Yak head then popped up. Hilton then turned around. All right, we're gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll it just a little bit more. I want y'all to pay attention over here and see if matter of fact, I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit. And I know I can't use my arrows that y'all want me to use so bad, but I'm gonna bring it back a little bit just so that we can pay attention to how the defense reacts.
I don't know that you can say, I mean, you can say, oh, that means they don't have guns on them, but that would be quite a stretch.
Yeah.
Given the context in which it comes up.
Yes, Your Honor. We will not use that page.
All righty. So
I'm trying to find that page number, but it says, we have to do it for Big Boo. These people are lacking, as in they don't have firearms on them, so they're easier to.
Well, I mean, they're talking about drinking.
Right.
Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I got to do it for Boo. These niggas lacking. Like, they're not doing enough to honor him or whatever. I don't know that you can say, I mean, you can say.
Nobody from the defense reacted except for Yak. I can't see Shannon. But nobody from the defense side reacted. Candor of the court. That's just being honest. Lacking can mean so many things. Yeah, it could be, but I think they got the context right on this one though. I think Mac's ears popped. You think so? You think we need to go back and watch it again? Yak popped. The only people that responded was Miss Percival, Miss Hilton, the security guard over there in the corner. He starts smiling, and then Yak pops his head. Like, Yak is the only one who responds. Everybody else does not move. All right, so are we ready to move past the N word? Y'all ready to talk about the evidence that's coming in, or Anything else? Let me tell these people to go get my son off the bus. Samad, y'all go get Boosie off the bus. He was a loss for words. They was busy trying to find the paperwork. Yeah, I agree with that. Hilton looking so funny. I think they literally froze to avoid looking at her. You know what, Destiny? What if they've developed a unconscious, or maybe what if their lack of response is because they are conscious of the camera in the room? Yes, Didi. She did. Abate head turn. Did he? I didn't see his head turn. Okay, I'm gonna take it back just a little bit. And we're gonna watch Abate.
Before we get there, can we just, I'm just trying to go in order so I don't mess myself up. 8919, I see a picture of an incredibly handsome man sitting next to me. I believe appears to be drinking a clear liquid drink. Is there any?
The picture you're talking about of Shan Stillwell?
8919.
Yes. Yeah. So after that post, this is, I believe, close in time to when they had the memorial for Big Boo. I'm trying to find that page number, but it says we have to do it for Big Boo. These people are lacking, as in they don't have firearms on them, so they're easier to.
Well, I mean, they're talking about drinking.
Right.
Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I got to do it for Boo. These niggas lacking. Like, they're not.
Ooh, his head popped. It popped up like, doop. Did y'all see it? He kind of stiffened up. I don't find it acceptable for us to say that word either. The court reported too. Yes, the court. She did respond. She was in shock. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was just saying to Ebbs. Yeah, Ebbs been here all day with me. She done been on every stream with me today. Shout out to Ebbs. She been here with me all day. All day. Nobody should be using that in the courtroom. Like, you in the courtroom. And that's all I'm saying. At this point, even though it didn't offend me, but like I said, I got an issue because there are several other people who I know this offended. She should have addressed the issue right then and there. There's no way you're gonna tell me that she didn't know that she didn't say that word. She should not have had to been prompted to come back and apologize on the record for it. You know, in my opinion, disingenuous way. I didn't feel like it was right. So that's that. I want to know how y'all feel about that hashtag. Let's talk about that hashtag. Y'all ready? All right. I'm honestly tired of this conversation too. I'm tired of talking about it. So yeah, let's move on. How y'all feeling about the hashtag? The peanut tombstone hashtag in Spanish. I feel like they can't translate. But okay. So you speak Spanish with no problem? I feel like they can't translate it. Here's the thing. The computer system the app that you was using chose to translate it for you. Why would y'all post it? That was so messy, and it looked so bad. It looks so bad. You got Hilton in here talking about the man was on the curb. She really don't know if he on the curb for real, but they steady arguing that he on the curb to the point where they have to pull up the crime scene photos to see where he at, just because Shannon got a song that went nowhere talking about the man was on the curb. Okay, it just blew me. It blew me that they decided, child, they post everything. They post everything. You don't have to post everything. I'm Puerto Rican and I approve. When you hand in your Google Translation work to your Spanish teacher, okay? None of them speak Spanish, so they can let that go. It's just the fact that he even translated to that was ridiculous. People have been fired from their jobs. Yes. And didn't they say the other dude go by Peanuts? So which was he speaking of? Well, when you got Slime Life Shawty talking about we put slat on niggas' graves, and then you turn around and you got Shannon talking about some hashtag peanut tombstone. The correlation is almost a 1-to-1 match. So I get what they're doing. I'm not saying that it's gonna prove anything, because my thought on that is that they were taunting each other. You don't have to do something or be involved in something to use it against somebody else, right? You can taunt somebody all you want to. And that's what the DJ did. That's what the DJ did. The DJ playing songs. He put up the car that was riddled with bullets. He said YSL. Somebody sent it to Shannon's phone, but at the end of the day, the entire act was a taunt, right? Regardless if somebody else was the DJ or not, I bet you that they referenced it just to upset somebody else, somebody from the other side, from the opposition, one of the ops. So that's what I'm saying. Just the fact that it was put out there or it was in a song was more of a taunt anyway, but it's just the fact that it's a part of the story that they're trying to tell. Both victims went by Peanut. He didn't say slat on their graves. He said what he said slat before, and then he said we put that on people's graves is how it went. And so that's how that went together. If you don't understand, you want attention to. Huh? I just think it's unfair that rap genre of music gets used against you. Absolutely. I think it's a direct violation of the First Amendment. How did I miss all of that? This is some of the stuff that I'm talking about from earlier in the trial. And say it, then you want to say it. Who? You don't see them using any other genre in trial at all. Right. It's them taunting each other with words on social media. I agree. I thought he said ESPN. He did. They did talk about ESPN too, but because y'all know they used that blog that Slime Loft Shorty was in to introduce the picture of the tombstone, right? Like they painted a picture for that. That's how they got into evidence. And now they're saying that either because y'all got to remember too that Shannon is charged with the unaliving of Donovan Thomas. And so they're bringing it, they're trying to basically bring it back around full circle to say, right. They try to bring it back around full circle. She said they were talking about the ESPN tattoo, then said we put that on great, right. But that wasn't the argument that she said in order to get it admitted. And when they painted and when they that wasn't the argument that she said, because ESPN was what it stand for. ESPN stood for something else. Speaking, they were talking about. Okay, wait a minute. I didn't get that from him saying that was a reach. Right, he didn't say slat in the mud. Okay, y'all, we're gonna go back and I'm gonna show y'all the clip of them arguing it, because no, he didn't say it. He didn't. I'm just like surmising, right? He didn't say slat. We put that on people's grave. He say slat right before they start talking about the tattoo, and he say we put that on people's grave. And then the argument that she was saying is like, he say this and he say that, and this is on the grave. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But we can go back and I can find the video. I can find the argument of it, and we can watch it. Every slime play nasty, right? What's good, Teron? All right, let me find it. Let me find what I'm telling. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Actually, I find it on my phone that way that I can listen to it and y'all gotta hear it. But yeah. What day was that? That was the day that I want to say that this is the day. Okay. Let me figure out what day this was. This was the first day back from on Monday. Okay. This was the first day back from the please. Young Thug Day. It was Tuesday. My headphone not even on. Let me go back. What's today? 58. Let me find it. This was streamed an hour ago. They really get on my nerves at work. What was the day on that? What was Monday? Today was, so that would have been day one, what, 54? Okay, not 54. Let's try 55. Okay, here we go. Let me find it. This is when they actually understand. This is not the argument though. The argument got to be on the other day. For this one, it got to be 54.
Shit. I got ill without 13. Get what? I refer young nigga with slime. This shit is in blood. We wrote this shit in blood. I probably had it before slime. And we also wrote it on nigga tombstone.
Where your tattoos at?
Yeah, the tattoos come after that. But I'm telling you, when they argued it, y'all want to play it back one more time? Y'all want to play it back one more time? So y'all can hear that he say we put that on Stones, and then after that he actually say the ESPN part. I'm running back just a little bit.
All right. My name is Max Shard. I represent.
And we'll pause right there. Is that you when you said the only thing that they have more of us is dead N-words?
You said, was that me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And now lastly, I'm going to show you 3 minutes and 18 seconds to 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
What you say, 3 minutes on what?
I'm going to show you 3 minutes and 18 seconds to 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
What that was on top?
Yes. God. Good luck, boy. Okay, good luck. Oh, shit, what's my God?
Zion Road on that. Mount Zion Road, you nigga was not at the bottom. She been telling on me. The ESPN got bomb on me because we blowing nigga down. Tattoo, too. A long child with heart, you know what I'm saying, heartbroken kid shit.
I got ill without this 13.
Get what?
I refer your nigga which line.
And I'm going to pause right here for a quick second. You said that you had ESPN tattooed on you. What does ESPN mean?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard every slime play nasty?
Yeah.
Is that one of the meanings of ESPN?
I guess if you want it to be.
Have you ever used ESPN to mean every slime? Yeah, you just said what?
What you said?
Okay, let's go back. To about 3:38.
I'm about to jump off here in a minute.
Shit.
I got ill without this 13.
Get what?
I refer your nigga which line.
This shit is in blood. We wrote this shit in blood.
I probably had it before slime.
And we also wrote it on nigga tombstone.
Where your tattoos at?
Do you say?
Okay, so either way it go, it still didn't go together. But when she argued it, she argued as if he uses the word flat and then says we put that on people's graves or tombs or whatever it was, and then she shows the picture of the word slat on his tombstone. That's how she argued it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Everybody interpret everything different. I mean, there's no right or no wrong. Everybody can interpret however they want to interpret it, but that's what I got from it. All right, y'all. I'm exhausted now. Honestly, I'm frustrated. I'm honestly frustrated, but I am exhausted too. Any last minute thoughts, words, comments, or concerns? Any last thoughts? Paige said they broke. Being broke and trying to start a war, how you do that? Where they do that at? Paige said they was broke. Where they do that at? Paige said they was broke. Shout out to you, Peach. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, come back. We have a good time. I appreciate that. Thank you. Paige said they was broke. That's the clip we should have been finding, Brittany. That's the clip we should have been finding. Paige talking about laying a wood and they broke. We should have played that. That's what we should have played for sure. That's what we should have played. All right, y'all. Like I said, I'm exhausted. I want to say, baby, Shannon been had them. We've been telling everybody that Shannon had them. Shannon had them woes. Shannon been had them woes. Every time they said something about Shannon, that man was going to see a girl, was leaving a girl, was gonna go get a girl. Every time we heard about Shannon in the story, Shannon was with them girls. I'm strictly talking about the case. Y'all know I don't get off into nothing else. Nothing else. Thank you, Gaston. I appreciate that. But okay. All right, y'all. Christina, thank you for rocking out with me today, girl. You've been here all day with me too. Eb been here with me all day. Brittany been in here with me. Like, I feel like we had a good time for my first day of actually I don't even gonna call it a full day because I took a break, but day of actually streaming. It was pretty fun. Definitely learned a lot. I'm actually gonna hook up one of my monitors to this computer so we can have a more seamless experience while we talk about this and break this down. Y'all even worked with me today, so fantastic. I want all y'all to have a good night, have a good weekend. I'm staying off the internet. I'm gonna be in the bushes like Dennis, looking, but not saying too much. But again, if you have not subscribed, thank you. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you go watch my interview with Ms. D. Williams on yesterday. We had a blast. We had a really, 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 really good time. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, and y'all, guess what? We talk about that coat. We talk about that jacket, that coat in that interview, y'all. We talk about that. So again, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is a really good interview. If you haven't seen my interview with Doug Weinstein, go watch it. It's a really good interview. I just want to thank y'all for supporting me while we do this content creation thing that I'm still figuring out. I hope that y'all continue to grow with me while I go through my law school journey. Because yes, if you don't know, y'all, I just took my LSAT this week. And I'm starting to work on my college application. So hopefully y'all stick around for the ride. I do plan on covering other cases. I am going to be covering for sure the Kentucky case where the sheriff unalived the judge. That is going to be the case that I cover. I also do plan on covering Melly when that happens. So if you are interested in rocking with me, just like I said, subscribe, come back, and I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm also gonna get a light because baby, the light in here is not. It's not given expert professional content creation. So again, thank y'all again. And I hope you have a good night and a good weekend. See y'all later.